It was exciting. I mean, we went to overtime on the first map. And I would say even in the second map, we've got some good highlights of the individual plays as well.
I do think it definitely delivered. I mean, we got those aces. We got Saya with almost an ace, and then also, I mean, just crazy Asian picks all throughout. Who would have thought that we would actually start to see Ye on Neon and then the Sky?
It's been wild, but I love it. I like to see it. Like we were talking about, we've seen upgrades all across the board. Gen G and RRQ, no exception to this. Now, we got to talk about a little bit of history from last year. Who wants to recap the heartbreak for RRQ?
I can't do it, Quack. You gotta run. I can't relive this. I can't relive this.
It's you, Quack. Go.
I mean, remember, this was RRQ at the start of Pacific 2023. They didn't have the best time. There were new kids on the block, excuse me, and then they were really trying to come back. They started to do a little bit better towards the end, but then even in LCQ, Gen G started to wake up. Gen G started to show up a lot more and almost made it over the hurdle, and then they actually did. So RRQ still just kind of lagging behind a little bit, but you do see those individual signs of greatness. Remember, we kept touting them for their sheriff rounds and eco rounds where they managed to come in a lot of thrifties.
Yeah, the thing is again, with the roster change, I think what they're looking for more now is not the aim factor, but how they operate the map. So that's the big question. But Gen G, I mean, they overhauled the entire team, and I would say strictly in firepower department, they have made massive upgrades across the board. So this is no easy feat. And hey, we just talked about Izu being the future. Here's another potential candidate. It's Keychron, that unknown mystery on Gen G.
Straight up unknown. He was saying in the Emerge video that he was still sharp in aim even in military service.
Yes, which by the way, just to add a little bit, it's a funny pride factor in Korea because when you're in training or you're doing your mandatory service, if you have like high scores during your aim training at the firing range, you get like extra vacation days, or if you go in for like extra standby training, you get to go home early, things like that. So it's actually a pretty big pride point in Korea. I just thought it was very funny that he mentions that preparing here for Valorant.
I mean, he's a marksman to say the least. I mean, not just the overall overhaul in terms of firepower, also the coaching staff, I think, is another interesting fact.
Yeah, Ewok has stayed on the board for RRQ, and I'm really glad to see that he has some fantastic ideas last year. That's why we saw the rise of RRQ. Gen G, on the other hand, why it was such an upset to see RRQ lose their chance at LCQ is because Gen G was on a downward trajectory, except for those critical moments. But like you said, with the coaching staff with Gen G, they had a complete overhaul.
Yeah, I mean, if we have a chance, we'll go back to the Gen G coaching staff a little bit because there's a lot of story there as well. But I agree, these are the players to look at. Texture now back on the primary duelist. He's free to fly around on that jet. He's free to take the operator every chance he gets. And now he has to go up against Jemkin, who has been putting up numbers like crazy in Challenger Japan in the past couple years.
Yeah, Jemkin is definitely someone we saw at Ascension on Scars. That was incredible how he was performing. A lot of people often compare him to something from Paper X. This is a lot of pressure for both of these players, especially Jemkin. This will be his first time really playing in the Pacific League.
Not just that too, I mean, Jemkin, I mean, you look at those numbers and it's really because he knows how to cut through teams like butter sometimes. And apart from that, he's very disciplined. You know, a lot of times these Russian players who play the Japanese Challengers League, they are really strong, really crazy, but Jemkin is a little bit more reserved.
Yes, yeah, he's not just always hunting for kills, he's really hunting for that win, and you feel that in the way that he plays that duelist, so I'm curious, how much does that help? Also in their Emerge video, they talk about how Jemkin's a very vocal duelist, which I think is so crucial in today's VCT meta in terms of building up a team, so that's why I have high hopes for this team.
Absolutely, comms is really critical, and we have seen whole teams transform just by fixing the language barrier. Now, you can see RRQ, all three of us have voted for RRQ. Paper Thin stands as the lone Gen G predictor. Honestly, I'm going to give a little bit of my input here. Gen G, I think it's a little bit too much of an unknown right now. I'm so excited for their new roster, their new coaching, everything, and I think there's so much potential, but RRQ did so well last year, and that's why I'm on the RRQ wagon right now. How about you?
Well, that's the thing, is that RRQ kept their core, right? So the philosophy should be similar, and then they've really shored up the weaknesses that we saw last year. Whereas Gen G, they rehauled the entire thing, and while we did actually see them during the offseason, whereas RRQ didn't play any official tournaments in the offseason, it was a very short showing at Convergence, and it was very early on into that roster rebuild. So today's going to be the real showing of, okay, where is this Gen G headed? What's the direction they're taking Valorant in 2024?
Same here. I mean, I think it's just for Gen G, too many unknowns right now. I do like the players, but, you know, having the roles swapped up so much, coaching staff swapped up as well, it's a little bit of an unknown. And then for RRQ, Ewok is still here. And remember, Ewok was that first team for RRQ to take a map off of DRX. And I think that's a very big thing. Having the mainstays, having an additional player in terms of firepower, just adds so much for RRQ.
This is kind of like a little redo since last year. They did the opening match last year as well. They faced off for the first time. Now, we did an audience survey, and we asked this, fill in the blank. In your dreams, Ye told you to use a Vandal or Phantom only. So we're going to see the results.
Wow, in what world did Ye tell you to use the Phantom? That's crazy. Well, maybe Ye saw my aim, and he was like, well, you should probably use the Phantom. Like, you should use the Vandal. But
so humble.
It is good to see that the audience knows their players, right? All right, the Vandal being favored here. Whether that's because they think Ye likes it or they like it, who knows? But this is from the crowd that visited us here at the S Factory today. So it's nice to hear back from the fans here in Korea.
He was using the Outlaw a little less than I thought. I think they should have asked like Outlaw or Operator for Ye. That would have been a harder one to predict. Now, how are you guys feeling? We saw the RQ guys waiting out there for a while. Gen G as well. I saw them going around inside Icebox. This whole venue is set up like Icebox. Is so cool, guys. But they were just checking out, doing the photo booth, taking pictures. But they've been here for a long time. I'm wondering how they're going to fare going into this match. A little bit more tired.
I mean, listen, it's the cards you're dealt, right? So you have to deal with it. But obviously, the team all together, they've been able to kind of prep and manage this. So it's a battle of who just came better prepared.
I think they just want to be ready. I mean, as soon as they got the call, you can see them starting to go for huddles. They're starting to cheer each other up. So, I mean, we got to go.
All right.
First of all, thank you guys for waiting patiently for the second match to start. Just out of curiosity, how did you guys kill time? You know, what have you guys been up to for the past 7 hours? 그러면 이제 조금 경기가 늦게 시작하게 됐는데 궁금해서 여쭤봅니다. 뭐 하면서 시간을 보내셨을까요?
T1 경기 계속 보다가 그리고 약간 중단됐을 때는 그 북미 경기가 저희가 아침에 시작했었잖아요. 그래서 그거 보면서 기다렸습니다.
Well, yeah, we were watching a little bit of T1's match, and then we moved on to watching America's. Make sure that we are informed about what's going on around the world, and you know, just kept ourselves awake. What about RRQ?
Yeah, for us, we just had to make sure we stay awake. We had our bananas.
Bananas?
For sure, the breeze overtime helped to keep the boys. We enjoyed watching it. It was a good watch. You definitely get the energy levels up.
먼저 잠에 들지 않고 좀 정신이 깨어있기 위해서 바나나를 많이 먹었고 또 브리즈에서 오버타임이 계속해서 나왔기 때문에 좀 충분히 여유를 갖고 마음을 다스릴 시간들이 있었던 것 같다고 얘기를 합니다. Now, Solo, coming in this year as Gen G's head coach, what are some things that you prioritized on? 솔로 감독님 이제 젠지의 감독으로 부임하면서 올해 특별히 신경 썼던 점이 있을까요?
워낙 저희 팀에는 훌륭한 HSK 코치가 있기 때문에 뭐 딱히 저도 열심히 했지만 저희가 하던 대로 준비한 대로만 하면 저희가 이기지 않을까 생각하고 있습니다.
Well, we had HSK, a great coach who is leading the team, and I'm not worried too much. I feel like if we play our game and play the way we prepared it, we're going to have no problem or trouble today. Now, Ewok, you've been with the team since 2022, and last year Gen G got the best of you, but this year it's going to be different, right? 이웍 감독님, 사실 젠지가 작년에 중요할 때마다 RRQ의 발목을 잡았는데요. 그리고 올해는 달라지겠죠?
Yeah, we played Gen G twice last year, and we came out on the wrong side twice. But that was a different Gen G, and as you can see on the stage, that's a different RRQ as well, right? So that's what we're here for today. We're trying to change that, and we started with some changes with the roster, and now let's change the result as well.
Okay, it started today. 자, 먼저 작년에 젠지를 2번 만났는데 2번 모두 패배했는데 이제 올해는 젠지도 새로운 팀이고 RRQ 또한 새로운 팀이기 때문에 오늘을 1점으로 오늘을 시작으로 이제부터는 상대 전적을 조금 뒤집어 볼까라는 얘기를 합니다. Now I want to ask you about HSK because you mentioned him in the previous question. Him as a playing
to watch and something to enjoy.
팬분들께서 이 경기를 보기 위해서 정말 오랫동안 기다리셨는데 젠지와 RRQ 모두 좋은 경기를 펼치면서 팬분들이 즐기면서 응원할 수 있는 경기를 펼치고 싶다고 얘기를 했습니다. Well, thank you coaches for coming in. I see the players are pumped up. So I'm going to toss it over to the desk.
안녕하세요. 저는 젠지 발로란트 팀 소속 메테오 김태호입니다. 이번에 로스터 변화하면서 확실히 전 시즌보다는 피지컬이 압도적으로 좋은 것 같고 다들 긴장하셔야 될 것 같아요. 이번에 첫 매치가 RRQ인데 새로 들어간 에스트렐라님이랑 잼킨님이 좀 총은 기깔나게 쏘는데 그래도 저희 팀보다 나르지 않나. 저는 솔직히 절대 진다고 생각 안 하고 그렇게 크게 걱정 안 하고 있습니다. 이번 시즌에는 젠지가 모든 사람들에게 기억에 남는 팀이 되고 싶습니다.
Hi guys, my name is Xfero and I'm from Team RRQ. The difference between last year and now, I think we have this new player that have stronger aim and stronger mentality in the game. I think at first we don't have the experience on LAN yet because last year we have new players like they have no experience at LAN. Now we have new member that have the experience for the LAN. That's why I think it's gonna be great. That's why I expect us to win the Kickoff tournament this year. Genji is a really great team and they have Texture now is really good player. But for us, we are really confident to beat them now. Genji beat us last year, but this year we're gonna get the revenge.
Now, you guys just heard from the coaches Solo and Ewok, and you know, it's been proven at this point how critical coaches are when it comes to high-level VCT play. Let's talk about that. We mentioned it earlier. How impactful will this be for Gen G in particular with the change of coaches?
Well, it does seem like during the interview, like Solo was trying to give a lot of credit to HSK as well, because he was originally the head coach for Gen G in the offseason. Solo was onboarded late into January, so not as much time. But my big question is people remember Solo as the IGL back on the old new turn. He's had a long career before that, but his coaching career is not spectacular. It has not been successful in Korea. And to me, this year on Gen G and this opening match, especially for both him and HSK, if they don't look good, regardless of win or lose, people are going to start asking questions, right? You have all this experience as a player. Why can't you lead them outside of the server? So I think there's a lot of pressure on the Gen G side.
And how are you feeling about Ewok's side? I'm sure he's probably trying to think of new ways, or do you think we're going to see a lot of old RRQ?
I think it's definitely going to be new. I mean, you look at the guy on the stage, and he looks really comfortable, really calm. He's always, like, very jovial in how he speaks to us.
He's also, like, not wearing a suit, which he normally is.
Yeah.
With the turtleneck.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a lot colder. I think that's one of the reasons. But, I mean, apart from that, it's just the way that he coaches, the way that he kind of figures out maps. I think that's one of the things. So map picks and bans is something that we'll definitely want to look at, but at least for the time being, RRQ not having that many matches, or actually none at all in the offseason, means that it's going to be a big question mark for the other teams. Like, how is RRQ going to play? How do we counterplay against them? We never know.
Now, we were talking about KANAN being basically a mechanics monster. We don't know much about him, but we do know that much. Let's break down some of the other players. Lakia, another new player on Gen.G, but not a new player to the scene.
No, not at all. And I think that's something that Gen.G brings, is that all these players outside of KANAN are really long-time veterans when it comes to Valorant. Lakia also has international stage experience alongside players like Munchkin. Lakia also known for really good info play, and then he has that clutch gene. Same goes for Munchkin, a really strong clutch gene. And then you have these steady aimers like Meteor, Texture, and now potentially the addition of KANAN. I think that's why on paper, when you look at the numbers, Gen.G is a really well-rounded team. We just haven't seen the chemistry come together just yet.
And let's talk about Estrella from RRQ, another player from the region here. Can you tell us more more about Estrella?
Yeah, happy to. I mean, Estrella was one of those players in Korea that whenever teams, coaches, or even like teams trying to come with the challengers were like, well, who can really IGL in Korea? No one really has that experience. It was like, well, Estrella's always that option. He's been a steady IGL. He's also very flexible across all different roles, and he's always putting up steady numbers. So now that you have someone who's also confident in their calling to assist Flipstrider on the side of RRQ, I think this is going to really help their whatever they've prepped come out into execution in the server. The question is Estrella going to be strong enough to keep up against the likes of Lakia, KANAN, Munchkin in terms of firepower? Because I think Estrella's good, but man, Gen.G individually is a very strong team.
They're still, yeah, really, really capable. And I mean, just with so many roles being changed up, I think RRQ does have their work cut out in front of them regardless.
Yeah, so who are you looking out for on the team of RRQ? We're really familiar with these guys at this point. 2GE or Toge, I think we had a chat last year, and he was like, I'm going to go back to pronouncing it how it was meant to be pronounced. Toge.
The Toge.
Toge, yeah. Toge, and because last year he went back to 2GE. Of course, like Xfero and Flip. So how are you feeling about them?
I mean, we definitely have seen them before. We are very familiar, but, you know, you still want to see them continue to grow as players, and that's the main thing. I think they're sticking to the same roles, and that's something that I love to see because you get to be a lot more familiar with it. You get to really flesh out your ideas and play along with the entire team. It's just that you have the addition of newer, maybe stronger firepower now, and that's going to be something that they could really use to beat Gen.G in this matchup.
Yeah, and Xfero mentioned, right, last year they had players that had no LAN experience. That was something additional to the language barrier that they had to get used to. This year, everyone's been on stage at some point, whether it's a big international stage or not. But I mean, even Jemkin and Estrella, both of them went to Ascension. They had to go through travels. They had to play against teams from other regions. So now, that veterancy also coming in a little bit more for RQ, and on paper, Xfero should be going back to just playing controllers. So he can really work on that craftiness and really bring out those clutch genes that he used to be known for back on their old teams.
Now, with the addition of these two players, Estrella and Jemkin, I mean, there's a reason we are predicting RRQ for this particular matchup. Now, pop quiz, do you guys know what RRQ stands for?
Rex Regime Keon.
Jeez, okay.
What does it mean?
I believe Long Live the King?
No, it's actually King of Kings.
King
okay,
of
Arthur,
Kings.
you gotta keep quiet now.
I mean,
King of Kings. All right, pop quiz number 2. What does Gen.G stand for?
Generation Gaming?
I don't think it officially does anymore, though, right?
No.
I think that's what it
officially.
started as, yeah, but
But it's like RRQ. No one says their the full name,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's like literally nobody says it.
All right, so this pop quiz just doesn't matter. It's just like I was in college. They just throw these quizzes at me, and it doesn't even matter. I'm just getting graded for things that aren't going to matter 10 years down the road. But again, I mean, RRQ and Gen.G, like, again, these brands have been around for a long time. I think that's one thing we can look at when we look at the names. Different areas, different regions. But, I mean, you look at their home crowds. Very, very passionate. For Gen.G, it's in Korea once again. Not a great look last year for Korean esports overall in terms of Valorant. So now they want to rise up to that standard.
And let's see if they do. We are going to go into our map bans and picks now. I'm so excited to see this. I'm so excited to see the new generation of Generation Gaming and Rex Regod Con.
Yeah, I actually, it's funny because I asked people, I was like, okay, so how would you want it pronounced? And they're like, just don't. Just go with RRQ. Like, it's not worth the trouble here. Obviously, the name is there, and I love what it stands for, King of Kings. But, hey, they are RRQ, and I'm fine with that here on the broadcast.
But you know who else just doesn't use their names anymore? DRX and T1, both of them. Pop quiz, what does it stand for?
Well, no, I'm not going to repeat it because like they ditched that name so long ago. They are just DRX.
But it is the year of the dragon.
It is the year of the dragon, and it used to be Dragon X Gaming, a long, far gone past. But yes, it's just DRX now.
And T1, do you know what T1 is for?
I honestly don't know.
Tasteless talked about this so much last year. I mean, they have like whole towers here in Korea.
Like SKT.
Yes.
Yes. That, obviously, a lot has changed since then. But T1 also a very household brand name, and Gen.G also. I mean, they've been representing a lot of different Korean teams across different titles. And again, both of those brands didn't quite live up to the expectations that the brands have in Valorant. But I think T1 has constantly been on the rise, whereas Gen.G was kind of flopping around in the middle of it, right? So now with this entire revamp, this opening match is going to be crucial because at Convergence, team-wise, I think a lot of fans were like, not what I expected. I wanted to see more. But KIRI put up a 64% headshot rate against one of their opponents, and it's like, I don't read into headshot rate too much, but 64 is insane.
Big number.
A huge outlier.
Yes, 64 is insane. So he truly, his mechanics, he proved it already in the offseason.
I mean, mechanics can only take you so far. Actually, with 65%, that it could probably bring you pretty far. But it's really cool to see how much Korean Valorant is on the rise. All three of these teams, T1, you know, there's some questions, are going to do well with some high hopes, and obviously they proved it in the very first matchup. Gen.G, I mean, we're going to see how they fare. And, you know, your favorite DRX, the steady kings of Korean Valorant.
Yes,
Will's favorite, yeah.
My favorite team. Absolutely.
Do you want to make any comment on what you think?
Listen, I would love to see DRX become the champions of Pacific again.
Okay, why are we laughing? Like, stylistically, tell us. Let's break this down. Because now we're actually starting to see a huge difference between all three of these teams.
Expose all our backstage conversations.
Well, the thing is, we're going to need a long time for this, and I hope we don't have to fill for too long here, because this is a very long discussion I could have.
Lama anjir.
Ilya light dah. Oh, is Ilya Jemkin light?
Same Rena play stuff. You went what, 0 what? 0-14? And Ilya went like what, 0-10 Right. Rena.
On champion. Ilya, you want? Rice? No. Yeah. Can I get 2 rice? Is there anything you guys have been doing this year compared to last year?
I will become more patient.
In finals.
On finals. Okay guys, this round let's not push them, okay? We know their play style. This is EU team, we know. They will just holding. And suddenly round started. Okay guys, let's put 8 shots.
Yeah. Everyone's lying in this. Jim, Dan, what else? If the next barbecue is bigger, then you know we can play that.
Our combo at home is just like, you see my face. Leash, order. Leash, are you hungry? Every day.
Every 3 hours.
Every 3 hours.
Just walk with me. 7,000 steps. You can eat a little bit more, you know? I did.
Yesterday he already whining what?
Yeah. One day, today he doesn't walk with me anymore. I did. What? Walk from there to this? On my dream. 10 steps, bro. On my dream. Ilya?
I know it's hard. Maybe activate Instagram.
Activate?
More posts, stories.
I don't know. Maybe.
Hey, you did so just now. You did so.
Oh yeah.
It's big goal.
I already done one of it, which is quit smoking, and more goals. Probably more active on social media, I guess.
More streams.
More streams, but yeah.
Everyone needs Jason already.
Always read. Always read. I think Jason read me the most, I think.
Belum. Kita nonton ini.
Got tournaments in 2 weeks.
After my birthday.
Yeah, after your birthday. 2 weeks more for kickoff. You all feel ready? I mean, we have some rule changes.
I've been grinding a lot, Dota.
Idiot.
I've been grinding Dota a lot.
So you're in the mood, Jason, ready?
Always. For me, I think win more 50 lah. Not win 50, don't lose 50.
Don't get 50.
Yeah, I'm tired.
And also when someone say don't die, don't challenge those words. Don't challenge this words and go die. It's not meaning don't die and go die.
I think the question should go to you actually, because you're the new guy, you know. Like, how do you feel?
I feel pretty comfortable with the team. The team's been very, very, very fun. I'm so excited to see our journey throughout 2024, I would say. Yeah.
I don't know, bro. You give a lot of weird answers just now, and now you give this fun answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for me, I think we always start slow, so it'd be nice if we do okay, you know. But I mean, I'm not surprised if we start slow again. So maybe difficult matches, you know. Lower breaker maybe. But we'll try our best, you know. Yeah, I guess we're done, I guess. Time to go practice? No. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, right. I go practice. Okay, let's go.
Thank you. Have a nice day. Have a nice day. Bye bye. Let's go. Bye bye.
Sejak 1973, Aqua berkomitmen menghadirkan air minum yang berkualitas.
Oke.
Tell you as a fan, as a Valoranter, I'm really glad we have a completely different map pool than the previous matchup. I think this is going to set up to be really exciting. We're going to find out if it's going to be a little bit of a nice box or a nightmare box this time.
It's definitely a question mark for all three maps, to say the least. Maybe not Split. I remember Gen.G having quite a good performance on Split during LCQ especially. So if anything, I do feel like RRQ actually has to step up. Is their icebox really that good? Why did they pick this?
Yeah.
They have to show it to us.
Yeah, and there's, again, if you want to go for lurks or anything like that where you can try to open up the map a bit more than it lets you, then you're going to need to win these long-range duels on Icebox. And while RRQ has some good players, okay.
Oh my God, Mirror.
Gecko. Oh, Mirrors, yeah. Well, KO on the side of
Sova,
Gen.G as
okay.
well. Huh.
So Estrella going for the Sova and then Munchkin on the KO.
It's very interesting to me because Estrella was mentioned to be that flash initiator for RRQ. Flips was always a little bit more comfortable on going for the info plays for RRQ as the IGL, but they've switched it up. Obviously, Gecko kind of works for both, but then KO on the other side, KO is always so good to shut down your opponents on Icebox, and Munchkin being there trying to take the lead as that IGL, I think that's a good composition for Gen.G.
This is going to be really exciting. This is the first time we're really going to see the new Icebox being played during Kickoff. We're going to go over to our casters for Nightmare Box, Paper Thin, and Achilleos.
Alrighty, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, let's jump into our second series. We have RRQ versus Gen.G. I mean, Desk was talking about it. Of course, we have to as well. This has been a rivalry brewing and developing since last season. We faced off against each other twice. We got to hear from Ewok, coach of RRQ, earlier saying different team here, so we're looking for a different result.
Yeah, it seems like their destinies are intertwined, and really interesting to see our first look at Icebox in VCT in 2024. Both teams running the Gecko, so using that to control some space. With those changes onto B on the attacker side, it's a lot more difficult to get yourself over to yellow here. There's a lot more opportunities for the defenders to hold some tough angles against you, but so far so good for Gen.G.
See how they fare here in the long haul. Looks like taking a quick little peek around over at that B site, and now we're going to be drifting back. Keychron just going to be going on a bit of a linger there at back yellow.
Yeah, but look where Jemkin is. He's pushed way ahead in the nest. Let's see if Gen.G is going to be able to identify this. This is scary, potentially, for Gen.G.
The push now coming through. Dash not going to be procced. There's a knife, and now he won't be able to use it. Okay. Drops back. Quick jump up, and no, getting slowed. Fogging himself down just a little bit, but does manage to make it out with 70 HP still remaining. Dash now on the ready here for Textures. Jemkin makes his way up into his heaven. Has to see the dash back there from Texture. In the meantime, though, Keychron finding that pick. He got the opening over onto B, but it looks like RRQ widely are getting the read that this is going to be a full rotate over. They haven't taken any more forward position in this B site yet, so there's a decent chance for RRQ to try to reply.
Yeah, there's just enough space. No Sage available for either team to really feel comfortable, so you use that wingman instead to put those plants down safely.
4v5 attempt here for the retake. Keychron down to 48 health. RRQ still just waiting for that rejoin to come in here from Blue Clips, and he's got a decent amount of util to use. Jimkin now can find himself on the board, gets locked in. Munchkin's going to be taken down. KANAN still trying to hold things down at back yellow. So only good for one more kill, and now Texture has been noted. The spike is not planted for him, and he needs to go huge, but he's only going to be able to find one. Jimkin picks up 3 here in his debut in VCT Pacific. Gives RRQ the pistol round win.
Yeah, what an escape from Jimkin after a great read by Gen G. Munchkin, by the way, this is his 4th ever game on KO. I had to go look because I'm like, you know, Munchkin's not really much of a KO guy. He's played more games on Phoenix in official matches than he has a KO. So kind of an interesting little tidbit there. But yeah, Jemkin, this is kind of the guy you're expecting here for RRQ. This is why you went and picked him up off of Scars when he had that impressive performance all throughout last year, and in particular at Ascension. And he is a tremendous duelist, unfazed in the face of adversity. As we saw at Ascension.
Plenty of noise there, and so that's going to be the Dizzy going out. Nope. Once again, he's going to be making his exit, gets a smattering of damage across. Lockheed going to be knocked down to 60. Both just kind of going their separate ways here. As Estrella pulling back over towards screens. Texture wary about this pushing. Yep, Jim catching a glimpse there for a brief little moment. There's the dash across. Lockheed going to be taken down. That recon dart spotting absolutely everybody here on the side of Gen G. So they are very halted up, and the spike is stranded. It's going to take some miracles here. Get Gen G into this round and try to equalize the scoreline. Jimkin finding himself another one there. Texture going to be taken out. Dart getting the tag, just forcing Meteor all the way back. As it seems like they're going to have to push in eventually. Munchkin able to find one. Flipshot are going to be taken down. You're just waiting, trying to see if he can spot, if he can hear anything. He's right on top of a player, but just has no way of knowing. Mitchell damage certainly can be dealt, 30 though.
Seconds left.
As now dashes across, rushes up. Barely manages to get the shot there. Only more will get taken down, but Xfero able to push forward with that Spectre in hand and just mow down the remaining players.
Yeah, solid hold here from RRQ. A couple nice Sheriff shots come through. You know, Munchkin, one of those players who has tremendous mechanics along with Meteor. Not going to be on duelists and still doing some damage and losing. You know, on this eco, you'd really love to get this plant down, but with Lakia going down early, obviously the Gecko is going to be your primary plant specialist. Not able to get the spike. Not able to get that little bit of extra money and utility for the side of Gen G. Able to keep one Vandal, a couple Spectres. Gonna try maybe a mid push here.
Big rush coming through, and distracted by the alarm bot. Elmymore just domes Texture.
Of course.
Didn't want to take the risk with the vulnerable, but the vulnerable didn't matter. You just absolutely coup de grace there.
It's an instant upgrade to the Vandal as well for Elmymore, but that guy, I mean, last year with the Sheriffs.
There's no covering fire here for Flipshider.
Oh boy.
Oh, it's going to be the timing, and now it's going to swing around there from Lakia. Easy pickup. Just even up the numbers a bit.
This is, again, good for Gen G. They can get to this point. RRQ losing one of the kind of power positions potentially over the site.
I believe Xfero's actually trying to challenge into that one, given the weapon disadvantage. Still is going for it, Dizzy. The pop flash going out, but Elmymore managing to find 3, takes out Lakia and KANAN before falling. Now it's just Meteor left standing. Fight at the ready. Sends it down back yellow. Swing out, Meteor going to be good for 1, but with 17 HP and Jemkin having the range advantage with the Vandal, there's just nothing to be done, and it's RRQ. 3 rounds consecutively, they convert the bonus.
Yeah, looking really stalwart here, and Elmymore shined often in 2023, picking up right where he left off. 7-0 now for Jemkin as well in 3 rounds. Absolutely monstrous start. 1 away from a Blade Storm already. Elmymore 2 away from a lockdown. Now Gen G going to go for Stingers and Sheriffs. Try to see if they can make this A-hit work. Some changes here to Icebox, of course, as the desk was talking about earlier today, which feels like an eternity ago, but we're back at it. And some important changes, but the A side itself has not really changed at all. In fact, it hasn't changed in the slightest. So this part of the map looks familiar.
He's just a hair away.
Whoa.
Yep, that's why I got picked up. 8-0. Jemkin just ripping them to shreds. On the hunt for more. Pops the dash before it burns out. Start up over the top, looking to try to clear that. Dizzy still does get flashed, but now Flipshider picking up one. Lucky gonna be taken down. Jemkin will find another kill as Texture will fall. Heard the drop down, and Munchkin will be able to convert that into a kill, putting Jemkin in the grave for the first time here in the map. Things start getting very messy. Keychron now, though. The ranked demon. The one that was picked up by Gen G that no one saw coming. Gets the third and final kill to get Gen G on the board in a thrifty round.
And we saw this at Convergence, that once he started to get fired up, he was basically online for the rest of the event. Keychron, man, he is an absolute potential prodigy in the making. He is really, really clean with his shooting, and you could see right there, he's able to get Gen G their first win despite some really difficult circumstances. That also gets him the Viper's Pit. Munchkin has the null command as well, so a lot of interesting ults to play around with.
Now, Knives now popping. Fair with a great read. Sprays up on top of the box and does manage to get a lot of damage across on the Texture. Elmi Moore in the meantime saying, hey, Meteor, I know you're new to this role, but I was kind of one of the Killjoy kings of last season.
And he snuck up through mid there to get that kill, so nicely done by Elmi Moore.
Do they read Xfero has the he's repositioned here? Because this would be fairly aggressive. It looks like they were not ready for it, but now they swing around in from behind. But Elmi Moore and Jemkin have arrived, and blink and you miss it. The rug pulled out from beneath Gen G's feet.
I mean, RRQ is happy to take these fights on B. Elmi Moore is just absolutely impossible to get through. Him and Xfero are doing a phenomenal job of just shutting down these pushes that Gen G is trying to dial up. And once Jemkin arrives, then it's game over. It's not ready at all as Munchkin for that position. Oh my goodness.
It just felt like Gen G at all wasn't ready for the fast rotates in from RRQ.
No, not at all. You're absolutely right. I mean, RRQ is just sensing that these seem to be fairly static hits from Gen G. They're trying to dial up some executes to just get themselves onto the sites. They're not even getting to that point most of the time.
Dizzy, flash drive sent out, just trying to escort them forward up towards this nest. Decent firepower, 3 Sheriffs plus that Blade Storm there for Texture. But with a lot of silence from that A site. Once again, Gen G kind of pulling into this pattern of rotating back over towards the B site.
Yeah, so this is good. I was going to say at the beginning of this round that I'd really like to see Gen G do a little bit of a bait and switch. Use that Gecko utility to buy a little extra time to keep RRQ onto the other side and then shift over, because pretty much you always know that the Gecko is going to be the one sitting with that spike.
But again, I mean, you see how slowly they're starting to approach us when they send up that 0 point, but then they really grind it to a halt. Rotations are in position. They're just waiting on Meteor to report whether or not he spots anything, see if they want to try to rotate back, but they're running out of time to do so. Xfero will make his presence known. Top rope, sending out that bite, and yep, that's going to be the rotations now coming in, and this time RRQ, they're not privy to it.
And there's no ability to gather info here, except for Flips. Has that Thrash. Now trying to buy a little bit of time, keeping that Duelist on the other side.
Quick clear on that recon, but with those Sheriff shots coming through from Meteor, it seems like RRQ now realizing what the play actually is. Wingman goes forward. That's going to be the Thrash coming in to try to find a lockdown. Does jump forward, manages to get the detain onto one as Texture drifting across. The instant headshot is found. He will shut down Elmi Moore. Estrella, however, now arriving, finds Keychron, ends up getting taken down, but Jemkin still very much a concern here for Gen G in this post plant. But now Thrash going forward, looking to chase in, but they manage to clear it out. Meteor with the Sheriff in hand, finding one. Flip shot at the last man standing. Player decently tagged up, but now a knife into his shoulder. The swing out of the corner, and Texture is good for a second as Gen G get their second round win and their second thrifty.
Yeah, great utilization of their utility here.
Stop buying rifles.
Yeah, you don't need them.
You'll win the game.
They're good enough with the Sheriffs, dog. Yeah, who cares? Just screw it. I mean, that's, God, Texture.
Snappy.
Yeah, and I mean, I think for Texture, you know, for him, he really wanted to go back to Duelist. I mean, Meteor, look, the guy's got gun skill, that's for sure. He's got that in spades. He was the Duelist carry for Gen G last year. This year, shifting over to that Sentinel role more often than not, and he's still got plenty of talent. That is an absolute fact. Still a lot of ults for Gen G as well here in this rifle round. Let's see if they can use them.
Ooh, Jemkin again, getting blinded, but manages to exit. Flipshot now caught. Moving up under nest towards Great. Trying to get that flank angle, but Meteor was ready for it. Shuts that down. Gecko now gone. Hell of a lot of utility lost here for RRQ in this defense. There's still so many ults to work with on the side of Gen G if they even feel the need to invest them here.
You got that flank coming from Xfero potentially. Here you go, counter.
Lockdown for lockdown.
Yeah, counter lockdowns to be employed. Munchkin on that no command still yet. And you have Keychron's ult, so a lot of post plant. Oh, we saw him.
He faces away.
Oh, did you not see him?
No, he didn't see him. He turned away just before Xfero was going to round the corner. Still, though, he started taking his time, so isn't ready to strike. He's going to rely on the rest of his teammates to be able to stave this off, slow down Gen G for a bit, but also keep their attention occupied towards the front of the site. Going out, Keychron able to find one, Texture taking down Chempkin. Texture finding a second. Now it's all on that flank.
30 seconds left.
Smoked off the turret.
Spike planted.
Probably have a decent idea.
Munchkin's ready for this now. We'll be able to shut him down. Gen G able to go ahead and just win a straight-up rifle round for the first time in the game. Now are within touching distance of RRQ, whose lead has now shrunk down by just one round.
And this is what's so scary about this Gen G team is top to bottom, just outrageous amounts of firepower. And this round, they're finally able to kind of get themselves in a position where they can really use this utility to great effect. You know, earlier when they had a couple of these ults available, they just weren't even able to get to the point of attack because it was so well shut down by Elmimore and Xfero on the other side of the map. But now, trying to pick this A side apart, and I suspect that Ewok wants to take a little bit of a breather here and talk things over.
A nice little proactive timeout here from the side of RRQ. Ewok seeing these rounds getting away from them, seeing some of the overheat, overzealousness on some of these defensive rounds, so wants to try to intervene now. Everybody cool, calm, and collected. Having this map get away from them could end up very well being catastrophic, given that this is their map pick. They're the ones feeling the most confident coming into this icebox. I don't know if they expected to have a damn near mirrored composition on the opposite side. I mean, if, you know, for context, none of the partner teams, at least here in Pacific, have been scrimming each other whatsoever.
Correct.
So everybody going in relatively blind as far as what their opponents are going to be bringing to the table.
And not only that, Achilleos, RRQ hasn't played a single match in the offseason. We have no idea what they had in store for us. We got to see a little bit of Gen G.
Yeah.
But this is certainly surprising. I mean, I thought maybe somebody would still stick with a Sage at least potentially because the sights didn't change. Oh my.
Sure, again going for it, but I mean RRQ kind of just opting to play this one out a bit more quietly, but the lurk does get spotted, as does Xfero. So the sneaky tactics, unfortunately here for RRQ, not going to be coming up with a profit for them. 0 point identifying there's nobody else further forward, so swing on the corner. Wingman can go ahead and get the plant down.
Let's see, there's a Guardian for Jemkin. Nothing doing those shock darts. A little bit too late to stop the plant.
Straight swing out, there's another Dizzy up in the air, looking for the blinds. Get the clear out, and oh, Lakia. He did get that tag, so straight out down, low on HP. Flip shutter picked off by Texture. Spawns him, and there you go. 1-2, great final shot. We'll find him, and it's going to be 3 kills for Texture as well. A flawless round now as Gen G continuing to heat up.
Yeah, big smiles there. As Gen G starting to dial it in a little bit. B-side has gotten a lot more difficult for the attackers with the change in those boxes on green, and they're still able to finally get it to work here. They've been shut down really well by RRQ for the first couple rounds, but now able to best them. RRQ decides to push a little bit further than we had seen them do early on in that round, and they paid the price. I mean, of course, it's an eco, so, you know, not the biggest of deals, but now Jemkin with an operator, still Keychron with that pit, man. He's been sitting on that for a while.
Goal set there. Cloud burst into the updraft. Avoid the pop flash coming through from Munchkin. G tackling this A site very aggressively. Stray going to be forced off the angle, and hit comes in. Texture able to find Elmimore. Dark darts, a bit too late there. I believe Texture was spotted. Full flash coming in. Stray playing off the back of that one very nicely. He's able to collect the kill, brings it back into a 4v4. Pit available, but you see how far back they're playing, so it seems like Gen G not wanting to invest that ultimate here into the round, but Xfero could for the retake. No, actually, they're just going to take the fight to him. Meteor and Lakia now both going to get picked apart. Keychron dropping down, swings out, can't adjust to try to get the kill. Looking for the spray there is Munchkin to try and stop the defuse, but RRQ will be able to find some stability, and they don't have to commit their ultimates to this retake.
Yeah, that one felt a bit disjointed from Gen G. Texture so far out there without any real help to bail him out off of that flash push from RRQ. Just stuck on the other end of the site. And you know, it's deep post plants for Gen G, and RRQ says, cool story, why didn't you use your pit? Like, we're just gonna push this space, shut you down from being able to use anything like snake bites, fragments, those kind of things that are gonna be available in the post plant scenarios for Gen G. Just rip that remaining strength out from underneath them. Blade Storm again for Texture. Still the pits, and now another thrash for Flips.
Jemkin.
Oh, Jemkin.
Yep, going on a merry walkabout down through Hall. But I mean, look at this close angle. Meteor is watching for this, and you'll obviously see the gun barrel first. Oh, it's a dizzy.
Oh.
Yep, Meteor ready for that one. Trap was set, and bait taken. Fantastic kill to shut down Jemkin. Got himself up to 12 kills, but hasn't been able to add any to the tally here in a while. Flips now trying to defend that dizzy, but Meteor just pushes forward, counts him down. Texture spots it straight up. They're on back rafters. Plant now coming in. Only more work to be done. Just getting started nicely. They're going to be taken down. That's the snake bite aspect eliminated here from the post plant. 0 Point not going to be spotting anything, but seems like, I mean, they're aware that Meteor is between them with that catch coming through. RRQ, do they want to commit to the retake? Seems like the answer likely to be yes, or maybe just a wraparound from behind. They want to try to catch any exits, it would seem, and recover the operator. Okay, so that's going to be Gen G tying it up.
This is Meteor just reading that play so well. Had himself in a nice position to play off of that dizzy.
Makia is wandering in towards this. Sphero, good for the shot. Thinking it hurt a little bit more, but the purse string's not too tight here for Gen G. Plenty of cash still in the bank as they tie things up 5-5. I mean, these teams just inseparable in the season, constantly clashing, and it seems like they're going to be inseparable in the scoreline here as well.
And so much of it, you know, last year was their fates intertwined, right? Leading down to that ending, you know, for the fate of RRQ within Gen G's hand, you know, things like that came up. But they just absolutely insane, and their face off in LCQ.
On my way.
It's really a great story that we have between these two teams, and already living up to expectations. I mean, this one certainly felt like a 3-mapper from the get-go. Yeah, gonna have to back up a little bit as Xpharaoh. No opportunity to get any real vision necessarily on the full, the full forces of Gen G that are going to be coming through towards B. Pings are out, but now you've got Flips sliding over here. Meteor back tucked into that corner.
You end up seeing a bit of a thrash v thrash. Xpharaoh actually pushing forward. Does get a little bit of fake information fed over here to Gen G, but now that they clear around back yellow, they know that he wasn't playing forward. I like the attempt, though.
Great delay here, though, from RRQ. Preventing this plant.
Oh my god!
My god.
Meteor! Holy hell.
Jeez, man.
Snaps on, shuts down Flip Shadow. That means that the thrash here for RRQ is completely out of the picture. Flash coming in, Elmimore out to the open. Texture able to scoop the kill and finds himself a second one. Eliminating Xpharaoh as well. Straight does manage to stand tall. Shuts down the enemy jet, but given that the operator is still in the hands here of Jemkin, just gonna have to wait this one out and allow for Gen G to get themselves up to 6.
Yeah, it's gotta be a save. If you want to keep the op. You have enough for rifles for sure. You might even have enough for another op, but
Elmimore sitting on 32.
Yeah.
Really avoiding getting the spot there onto Estrella. Jemkin just underneath the Meteor here, who looks like he's very hungry to take that op out of his hands. On the hunt, the swing around, he spotted him. He is not going to be able to retain that one whatsoever. Like now coming in, Estrella not going to be able to find anything else. Meteor gets himself a third in that round. As RRQ losing everything and losing the lead.
And I mean, you think back to who it was that ended, you know, the LCQ and RRQ's VCT last year. Obviously, it was Gen G, but Meteor was a big part of it. And he is showing up in a big way. Different role, different agent. still having tons of impact. He is all over the mid part of this map, just causing so much disruption. It's so hard when you've got a player that deep into kitchen.
Oh,
Texture's got the op.
they have 3 ops.
Why not?
Texture, Lockya, and Meteor all have ops, and Texture gets the flick to shut down Jemkin. What a shot!
This is interesting. Tons of ults to work with. Keychron still has the pit.
My goodness. The flicks just in the last 2 rounds have been astounding.
Well, this is why I am the lone Gen G believer today. Is that the firepower in this team is just outrageous. Texture, I've said this before and I'll say it again, I think one of the most balanced duelists in the world. He can do a lot of things really well. He's not one of those guys who has like a calling card where he's just a great opper, he's great blade storms. He's just really good at all of it. And other than that one time he overextended, I think he's playing great.
0 point revealing nobody far forward here, as that's going to be the Thrash to go and check the site. Sparrow just tucking back on the opposite side of the wall. There's a jump up over the top, makes his presence known, managing to find 1, gets a second before getting taken down by Munchkin. He gives the rest of his team a chance. The 3v3, Spike still in the hands of Lockya, the wingman at the ready. Sends it down, the pop flash timing looking good, but Elwimore still full flash, managing to find the kill, and he stops the plant, and he gets Munchkin to boot. The Thrash chasing, it gets the stun. Meteor detained. It's only going to last a little bit longer here as they try to flush him out. I thought maybe he was going to be able to redraw his weapon, but no. They will just wall bang him to death, and RRQ will be able to recover here. Picking up multiple rounds there over to Gen G, but it's 6 and 6 at the half.
What more could you ask for? Just 2 phenomenal teams going back and forth. Maybe a little bit of a kind of miscalculation here from Gen G, thinking that 3 ops, sure, why not? We've got a ton of great oppers on this team. I mean, you got Meteor and Texture, of course. They're quite good. Munchkin's no slouch. A lot of great players on that team who can grab an op and do some damage, but didn't really befuddle RRQ too much, able to stop that plant, bailing each other out, even though the flash displaces, I believe it was Elwimore, but they're able to back him up right away. Now we switch sides. Now we really see, with these very, very similar comps, if RRQ do a little bit better on their attacker side, or if it's going to be Gen G's defender side that holds stalwart.
25 more seconds here for the coaching staff to come with the team. Try to gain some leads here going into this second half. Solid start for RRQ, but a great rally back. Gen G very much alive and well. And if they're going to keep hitting shots like we just witnessed from them, this could be a very bloody second half.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's just been a phenomenal. First half. Texture, 15 and 8.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we saw Jemkin. He got up with 12-3.
Yep.
And that impact just hasn't been seen. Gen G were doing so well to shut him down and just play around him, not away from him. Well, they shift over to that defending side. RRQ going to be trying their hands here on the attack. Let's see what they've got prepped for us.
Munchkin is spraying through here. Again, the defenders have a little bit of extra room to get some good angles there. You can even do a high-low off a yellow. It can see really deep down in towards the attacker's side. So for now, though, it's going to be cleared out as there was only 1 player over here. It's Munchkin. You have a deep push through mid, didn't make any contact, so an immediate rotate back over.
They're just cutting their way in under tube. Shots going up top, trying to spot anything that they possibly can. Lockya was revealed there for a brief little moment. Now the wingman flank going to be coming through inside the poison orb. His own wingman going to be sent out just to try to get a daze off, but nothing to be found. So for now, fairly clean plant here from the side of RRQ. As pop flash timing is absolutely gorgeous. No way for Jeff to turn from that one, but Flipscheider swings out, managing to find 2, keeping things nice and even. 3v3, slight firepower diff here in the hands of Gen G. It's Meteor with that Sheriff, manages to put the good use, coming up with the kill on Estrella. Can't find anything. Sparrow doing his damnedest. Finds 2 more, but Meteor will be the last one alive. Gets the defuse, tying up the pistol count and giving Gen G the lead once more.
A huge hold, but RRQ committing to this B hit from the get-go, and again, with all that information that Gen G is able to gather with their mid push down through the tunnel, too hard. What a beautiful flash, by the way, from Munchkin. Just absolutely pinpoint accurate to set Texture up for that first kill. And Meteor with a Sheriff there to finish the job. Valiant attempt to hold. Now Texture is going to be grabbing an Outlaw. Munchkin with the Guardian. Meteor with a Sheriff still. Karen Spectre. Bulldog for Lakia. So diverse array of arsenal for Gen G, and immediately taking some damage trying to get that recon off. Great shot.
Okay, Texture. The only other players that we've had bring that Outlaw into the fold, and puts it to very good use. Great answering shot though. Elmimore has always been fairly crisp when it comes down to those Sheriff shots, but this time Texture will be able to get the better of him.
I wouldn't be too surprised today as it rolls on if we see Meteor going for a few Outlaws himself. He's quite good with the Marshall, as we saw many times over the last couple of years.
Could very well do, but it seems like even knowing that this weapon is on this side of the map, they still want to try to play into a site. There are 3 players stacked up ready to greet them. Dizzy up over the top. Flash not connecting, and Texture gets the collat. Our first one so far here of the season. Jemkin now, last man standing, does recover a Bulldog. Finds himself in a 1v2. Spike stranded down behind him, 30 seconds remaining. Can he even isolate the spikes? Can he predict it? No, he cannot. And will take him out. Weapons can be picked up. And that's going to be Gen G taking away that anti-eco. But now we go into the buy round here for RRQ to see if they can get back on the horse.
Yeah, I mean, all things considered, this is not a bad round for RRQ at all. Able to take some big guns away from Gen G, do some pretty decent damage. Texture. Some huge kills, of course. The collat for the 4K. Absolutely ridiculous.
You can tell he wanted the ace.
Yeah.
He's trying to make it happen. Not this time, though. He's trying to take a forward position. A little bit of a leap there out of Jemkin's book, but plenty of covering fire. What is that? Texture! You can't be doing this!
It's not fair, man. That is not fair.
Invested, diving forward, looking for the jump there. It's going to be Lakia, and Texture getting swept under the rug. Man advantage now here into the hands of RRQ, but again, just given that this is the bonus, Gen G, any more damage they could deal, even with a round loss, is still going to be feeling pretty decent for them as everything grinds to a halt.
Munchkin pushed so far forward.
Boys cut. They check up over the top. No, they do not. The flash timing is absolutely perfect. Munchkin looked like maybe he was still going to be able to come away with something there despite the flash. But take it down. Spot there on Elmimore for a brief little moment, but a great read from RRQ. They start assessing. They start spraying through the box. They get that kill across.
Meteor got a tag in there. Get some damage.
Now in. Okay, Meteor on the hunt to try to find some extra value, but wasn't expecting Jemkin up top. Ends up falling, and RRQ widely managed to go ahead and take the bonus for themselves in fairly clean fashion.
Yeah, looking really nice. Able to get some big kills. Nice little coordination there with the Thrash. Find a couple angles, a couple big kills. And they're able to just identify a player behind the box, isolate, take him out, and then not much for Meteor to do there. Jemkin just waiting with open arms. Texture Bladestorm. One away from his own is Jemkin, but
he went from 12 and 8 to 17 and 9, so I think he's back on it. Texture now on the hunt. Jemkin, oh yeah, crouching at the perfect time. Karen in the meantime, however, able to find Elmimore. Killjoy now eliminated, and Lakia escorted into a very far forward position, watching that A-main approach. Sparrow going on a lurk. Here's that movement. Able to strike. Munchkin going to be cut off there on the rotate. Now that's going to force Gen G out towards that attacker spawn. This Meteor, oh man, nearly flushed out of this one. It's so very low, swings back out, finds one. Eventually does fall. Sparrow trying to hold that back line. So one kill, but now it's all on Texture and Lakia. As the swing up comes in, Lakia shuts down Jemkin. Estrella, the newfound IGL here for the team. In a 1v2, Texture at 10 HP. Can he clutch it out? Noise cut.
One enemy
approaching,
remaining.
but he checks through.
Out of charges.
Catching Lakia, and that leaves him with a massive advantage. Texture just down below. Weapon not spotted, but he creeps in underneath and behind, and Texture will be able to close it out.
Man, oh man, this looked so good for RRQ off the rip. They seemingly read Meteor's position, but they don't get the kill. And then he steps out and causes all kinds of chaos. KANAN on the other side, finding some impact. Texture able to just barely get his kill. That is nasty from Lakia.
Just quick adjustments, and Texture remembering to look up. The boy's back and he is happy. Able to play Duelist again at long last. I mean, Meteor, for those who aren't in the know, he gave up his Duelist spot on this team to Texture because he wanted this team around him.
You can see why. It's really good. Jemkin with blades. Sparrow does have a pit if they can get to it. So they've got rifles. Otherwise, some extra money in the back pocket. Gen G's economy, on the other hand, is pretty dire other than Munchkin.
It's been a little bit brutal. Consistent kills coming in. Not allowing him to really bank up anything. Wingman now going to be going forward. Pit invested as well. Sparrow really wanting to convert this round. Now Nanoswarm's going to get set up. Swinging around, though, is Meteor. Coming around the backside of Yellow. Hit is going to prevent him from seeing much of anything, though, but trying to fight forward, able to find Karen. Snaps over the side, takes down Texture. Pulls back, goes for the reload. Jemkin there to try to protect. Flipshotter now finding himself a third. Meteor gone. Lock, however, able to put an end to that reign of terror, but the man advantage is still very much here in the hands of RRQ. Not wanting Gen G to get up to double digits quite just yet. Sparrow with another, taking down Munchkin. Estrella will be the finisher coming out from mid. And RRQ keep things nice and tight.
Absolutely. A great push, great angle to set up for that Viper's Pit, just enough to cover that plant. Not really able to disrupt it is Gen G. Those post plants so tricky to deal with. Flips just pushed up, heard the shots from KANAN, moved up to keep him off guard. Did a nice job, picks up 3 in the round for it. That Wingman debates him a little bit. But still, very good stuff. And now you still have some key ultimates available on the side of RRQ. Saw Hunter's Fury in there for Estrella at 9-9. This is certainly going to be a good one, feels like. I mean, everybody fighting tooth and nail, knowing what's at stake, knowing how limited the opportunities are going to be.
Yeah, I mean, even though, I mean, obviously the core of RRQ, very much the same. Jemkin, the kind of, you know, the one new addition coming through. Meteor, the only mainstay from Gen G. But either way, everybody on these two teams has now inherited this rivalry from last year. Gen G wanting to keep up appearances with new head coach Solo there in the booth, wanting to be able to deliver a third shutdown to RRQ's hopes.
Yeah. It's tough, man. I mean, RRQ certainly had revenge on the mind. I'm sure as soon as they saw this matchup come through, they were chomping at the bit to see if they can do what they could not last season. Let's get a win against Gen G. Lakia has the thrash, so does Flips. A lot of info given over here.
Not sure if that was meant to try to clear up early util or if it was an oopsie on the shock dart there. Either way, though, drone to try to escort forward. Sorry, getting the dart out there onto Meteor. He'll back away. Push darts coming through. Jemkin spotting it for a brief little moment. Sees 2. Noting them now over towards screens. G just working their way over. Is the mosh pit going to be thrown down? That interrupts that plan. Man now sent out. Is he connecting? Jemkin having the drop down. Hunter's Fury crashing across. Elmimore pushing up. Looking for the target. Ooh, what a snappy headshot. Gives himself a second. Munchkin is able to find one with the classic, but that's as good as it's going to get here. RRQ.
Nice.
Weapon advantage. Push forward aggressively. They managed to tie us up 9-9.
And obviously it's tough. You're on the eco. You know, you're so outgunned. It's very difficult to get something going in that situation, and they had to rotate quick over. Tried to all just make it go from the screens in the back of sight, and really well covered. Just chasing down Texture there. No problemo. Now, operator, Texture very, very good with it. Very consistent.
I mean, honestly, the other big thing is that Estrella, he did commit the Hunter's Fury there, and you have that lockdown now in the back pocket here for Meteor, so
true.
Clearing it out, it's going to be very difficult. They have to rely on, you know, a lot of different lineups. The Mosh Pit potentially there from Flipshider to try to catch it. As Texture very far forward, now turns his sights over towards Garage. Estrella lurking up into that position. The drone will chase Texture away for the time being.
Still leaning over towards the A site with this spike. Lucky on point of contact, yeah.
Saw enough there. It's going to be the back away and the rotate now coming in from Munchkin. Lockdown used preemptively. So the wingman is there to go for the plant, so they can grab this one, and now they have that slightly delayed, but
spike
with the the spike getting interrupted, plant not coming through, so still plenty of time to work with here for Gen G. Just pushing up far enough to try to grab the spike, seemingly impossible here for RRQ in that little window of opportunity that they had. Right now coming through, there's a full flash coming in as Texture not quite connecting with the shot. Meteor not realizing that Estrella was still going to be pushing forward. Jemkin now puts Munchkin down. They lost only more in the process, but Locky going to be taken out by Xfero. Rez, unlikely. Texture nearly finding himself another collat. Cleans up one, but still everything for him to do. The Thrash on the hunt. Time dwindling. Spike needs to be planted. And Texture, he might be able to ruin their day, but no. Flipshider catches him in the head, and RRQ will once again take the lead.
It's phenomenal movement there from Texture. Dodges the Thrash, able to avoid the backstab from Estrella earlier, keeping track of it and getting above RRQ where they're not expecting it, and yet still RRQ able to react. Snappy, snappy stuff from them. Elmi Moore and others. Jemkin, of course, looking very, very good. Xfero as well, really feeling it. So you gotta like what you're seeing from RRQ. Is finally seemingly start to come together as Gen G once again going to be put on an eco now. They've been pretty decent on ecos here on this map. But on the defender side, maybe a bit of a different story.
Two closeouts there, but Texture going to be punished nice and early, and that was the heaviest investment they had. The Guardian shut down very swiftly. As you can see, everybody kind of drifting forward, trying to take that forward space in A. It's Meteor trying to hold things down from Kitchen and Tomb, and he absolutely will. 2 kills for him, and that's exactly how Gen G continue to get these thrifty round wins.
What is that, Meteor? That isn't fair. I mean, you got the Dizzy right in your face. Just ridiculous.
Oh, do they know? Yes, they do. Estrella now taken down. Munchkin wanting a piece of the action. Finds the kill. Spike still all the way back here outside of A main. Only Moore gets himself into a forward position. But he is going to have to be the one that slams the door in Gen G's faces if RRQ want to stop this from getting tied again. Moved up. A decent spot. Close angle needing to be cleared. Elmi Moore finding one. Sliding out now, but you can see the pings coming down. Gen G having a very good idea of where he's at. He cannot get the follow-up shot. Xfero now left all on his lonesome in a 1v3. They're lined up for him just a bit, but can't kill Lockyer fast enough to try to get the transfer. Munchkin with a recovered weapon will put him down, and Gen G will keep it neck and neck.
Unbelievable. These ecos from Gen G are just fantastic. I mean, didn't you say it earlier that they should just use sheriffs?
Yep. Just, you know.
I think you may be onto something.
We'll take a look back.
I want
to
see this.
Meteor's
This is
POV.
Yeah, after the Dizzy is the one I want to see. Oh, he hits it and then repeaks. Disgusting.
Just basically right under the Dizzy bubble. Estrella just showing that shoulder. It's enough to get him punished. 2 very crucial kills into the finisher there from Munchkin to pick up 3. Gen G not going quietly into the very late night. You can see, despite the delays and everything like that, everybody in this lobby is wide awake.
For sure. Once again, trying to get that operator to get some value for Texture. Early util plus pickup of the orb. If there's any more comes out, should kind of give it away. Yeah, here you go, executes on.
Dart goes out, Dizzy as well, but really being noted, Gen G in a fairly disconnected position. Now likely going to be trying to clear out that wingman. The Nano Swarm is going, and that's going to be the spike once again interrupted. Still timing's just working out very well here for the side of Gen G, not allowing for flips to just get those easy free plants down. So now he's got to push up and recover it. Sees the nano coming through, backs away. Still time available to RRQ if they want to go for a rotate, and they still have Elmimore in a very laid-back position outside of A main. That 0 point's got to tell all.
They're just keeping their feet planted, waiting to try to figure out a way that they can get through. They have to wait for the toxic screen to come up.
All going, no timing shot there from Texture. Had he actually gone for it, would have been rewarded with a kill onto Estrella. And they go working their way forward. Sparrow able to find one, but quickly traded back. Texture finding the elimination. Spike still in hand, but now going to have to be stuck to this plant. Meteor dropping down off the top. Texture finding Jemkin. Now it's all on Flips and Elmimore. Full flash on a Meteor, but they just don't know it. Flips can't try to go for the swing out. He's eating that team flash, so they try to go ahead and get the 50 onto him, and they will be able to do just that.
Wow,
Texture with 3 with the operator as Gen G once again working their way into a lead.
Maybe just a little bit too static. You can see this from both teams on their attacker side, where sometimes they're just really tunneled on committing to a certain side of the map. And you know, with the toxic screen there, you feel like you kind of have to use that to get your approach to get to the spike. And Gen G does a great job adjusting. They were having a little bit of trouble dealing with the wingman plants earlier in this half. Now, not so much. Great flash. Again, Munchkin having some impact with that KO. Or just a friendly reminder, he doesn't play it very much. Some of those flashes, especially earlier on, that one he had around yellow was ridiculous.
Well, it's going to be the final timeout call here from RRQ. Rock trying to pump the brakes and reassess what's going wrong at the moment here on this attack. Again, this is their map pick, so they don't want Icebox get away from them.
Yeah, I mean, I think ideally you want to spread the map a little bit more. Try not to overcommit some of that utility, because they dump so much of their info and space gathering utility on that initial execute. It doesn't go their way, and then they're stuck. And right, you have to commit to get Flips back up there to get the spike, and then they plant and try to confuse Gen G, but Gen G's got enough information over on the other side of the map that they don't really need to budge either. So let's see if they can maybe find some success. Maybe the doggo give a little luck over to Xvero and company.
Spots, maybe it'll work for me.
Exactly. Certainly.
Like
it's all about the plushie luck.
7 more.
Yeah, you need to accumulate a fat stack of plushies.
Actually going for the very fast push up here. Put it on Ven. She got a very narrow close angle, but drone sent in will get cleared out, allows him to stick around. Keychron actually able to find one. Flipshider taken down over at green. Now the back away. And realistically, I mean, this is just such a tough position. RQ likely with a great idea that that operator is going to be situated on A. A member gone over on that B site. You know that the double stack is there, and Meteor waiting. Saying, hey, Xfair, you know that they added a window here?
Tough angle to check. It's a tough angle for Meteor to hold, actually. You know,
it's just not something that they had to deal with.
Right, exactly. That window is, I'd say it's a pretty balanced window, to be honest. But I'd say if you can get up into that position as the attackers and you check, you have a fair shot to win that fight for sure. But
Keychron once again looking, maybe get himself
30 seconds left.
Another elimination as that fight does come down. Damage just has to be eaten, but it's not too much there for Estrella, so he's able to back away. The 3v5 for the hold, I mean, the null command available here for Munchkin.
You have nothing but a nano for utility for this post plant.
It's going to have to be on raw aim. Jemkin with that hot start. Can he keep them in this? The dash not going to be able to be used. No flanks to be concerned about here, not that they are aware of it. So the fuse gets started here. The swing out. Munchkin, snappy. Switches back over to the right. There you have it. Munchkin will be put down on the floor, but he can be rezzed. And it is a flawless as Gen G now look to steal the map away from RRQ.
Again, Gen G is starting to get a feel for this, like how RRQ is wanting to play. They're getting great timings on some of their util, not overcommitting in bad spots. That's just not fair, man. okay, that's just unfair. This is like just, you know, Meteor in a better position. But that shot from KIRI was not fair. That ain't. Ugh. I mean, things happen.
It's stuff like that that just goes to show, like, this is why this guy got picked up. This is why HSK came across him in solo queue and just went, hey, I think you should try out for this team. Lockheed gonna be able to find Jemkin. Be more answering back, however. Shuts down that enemy Gecko as RRQ very much all in here on that A site. But Texture lurking in the back. Able to scope in, finds Elmore, draws out the plays, finds Estrella, looks for a little bit more. The dash over the side, can't quite find that third kill, but the damage is dealt. Flip shot it down to 39. The 2v3, the pit, still available. There's Xfero going to be investing his. Meteor drifting around from a potentially unexpected angle, comes in from the back, finds the kill, flip shutter now. Last man standing, gets the headshot to keep them in the game. RRQ, one more round to take us into our second overtime of the night.
Anjir.
The thing I'm struggling with right now is not just that it's late and I'm tired. Like that's not it.
You're supposed to be back at the home by now.
What?
Sorry, you missed apple pie.
Thanks. Yeah.
You were saying.
I do like apple pie. There's nothing wrong with that. No, I'm saying like KIRI has his ult again for forever, and he could have like counter pitted around the corner or something there, and at least caused a little bit more confusion. I mean, that's what's actually giving me a little bit of pause. As good as KIRI is with his guns, I want to see a little bit more. I mean, Texture's good with his guns too.
And he is.
Oh, anjir.
He's taking down a nice early kill here from Texture. Back all the way up here to safety, but now the lockdown going to be coming through. He's actually going to maybe look to swing this corner. Jemkin watching for it. The flash to try to escort. I thought maybe he was actually going to agree to try to get the shot across, but instead he's just going to have to try to make it out, get around to safety. He just barely does. Looked like he was going to be detained for sure, but now Plant getting ready to come through. Thrash led forward. Chase coming in, and I believe the detain is there, and Texture sniping Jemkin out. Sparrow able to just find one, but there's so much more work to be done. Texture finds himself a third. The wingman sent. Take a look here.
Well, map 1 is in the bag for Gen G, and you know what? That wasn't very obvious going through every single round back and forth between Gen G and RRQ. Now, both sides had amazing plays. Jemkin was also on fire, but why was it not enough, Quack?
It just didn't feel like he could create enough space. You know, a lot of times RRQ were trying to formulate their plans around Jemkin, but if he's not allowed to get those opening picks, it's just so much more difficult for RRQ to create that space. And a lot of times in the first half, Gen G's game plan centered around making sure that Jemkin would not be able to get kills.
Yeah, and that's the other part, is that Gen G proved that all 5 of them can take the duel against Jemkin. Meanwhile, on the RRQ side, not all 5 of them could take the duel against Texture, Meteor, and sometimes, you know, a Keychron. I mean, all 5, right? They were definitely outmatched in terms of firepower. So that part Gen G has already proven. But I also think Gen G has impressed me more than I would have thought optimistically. And Texture, my God. Millions are favorite that we're not getting. 13-11 score.
Oke, tenang-tenang aja dulu ya. Saya ngobrol-ngobrol ya.
Top gen.
Spike down A. 3.
Top gen dive.
Spike.
Nothing. One city.
One city. I want HP, okay.
Right here.
Oh, to
One enemy remaining.
Last guy don't know where. Maybe Frank. Punya dogo ada.
behind, side.
Nice.
It's a shame you had to die, but you are not part of my bigger picture. Teleport's ready. It seems these
See how he go there? What?
Yeah, they're not first.
I don't know timing again.
Go again? Let's go.
Okay.
Bomba. Halo. Awalnya for me to cross.
Toxins going up.
Okay. After call. I think they take A. I think. Big clip.
Let's go B then. Careful mid pick.
Reloading.
You.
Retend.
Got Vandal if you want.
Weapon here.
Oh fuck.
It's coming.
One middle.
Teleport.
Just line for city. I go alert. Mid.
One orange. He might take Vandal.
Okay, just don't die, bro.
Careful B mid.
I'll try.
Nothing on B man. Top side clear. Dead.
Maybe man.
Last player standing.
Last side.
One enemy remaining.
Vandal.
Atau kok di situ lagi dia bangke.
I must kill my reflection. Reloading.
Bom. Tadi belum ada kesempatan.
Slow the up area.
Toxins going up.
So that.
Toxins
Oh.
going down. Oops.
They hear me.
I know you.
One nest.
One pipe. I think one pipe.
One nest.
Ready? I can smoke rafters, guys. Ready? Let's go.
Toxins
going
Okay. I smoke rafters.
Backside.
I can break.
Apple picking.
TP.
Last
One
player
flank.
standing.
Gue nyabut cok. Guys, running with me, Abu, guys.
Nobody's a hero when they're crying for air.
Drop son.
Anyone
Hey,
have
help me
funds
take
to
Jimmy
spare?
now.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'll smoke mid first then.
Let's go.
The hunt begins. Revealing area.
Poison orb emitting.
Fighting.
Enemy spotted.
Spike is down.
35.
Spike down B.
Wait, careful pushing A. Wait. I mark A.
One enemy remaining.
Last city.
Go A then.
On HP. 140.
Okay. I go kill him, Jay.
Poison orb emitting.
Good luck. Iron.
Poison's off. Poison orb emitting.
I don't see him, Jay.
Poison's off.
Maybe in city already, I'm not sure. Could be timing with me.
My priority is their suffering.
So dead. Reloading.
Jet have knife. They're probably gonna go pipe, I think. Can you recon 1 second late, I think?
Also close.
Get out of my way.
Recon now?
Toxin screen down.
Close.
There.
Spike down A.
Toxins going
Everyone's
up.
close.
Let's go B, guys. Go B. Saya mid push.
Toxin screen down.
I'm marking here.
Here.
Night. Reloading.
Go back. Let's go.
Poison orb emitting. Toxins
Reyna
going
was
up.
here.
Poison's off.
All off soon, Jay.
Unsafe.
All off now.
There they are.
Toxin screen down.
Planted.
Top dust.
I got one.
Once
Toxins
deck
going up.
80.
Toxin screen down.
Last player standing.
Holy shit.
Jaya, parah.
Hell.
This place is nice, but not nice enough to die in. Let's win and get out of here.
I can buy usage.
Can someone get this?
Let's go B fast.
Alright.
I go from B.
He's
You can
right?
go from B. Can someone help me shoot recon?
What?
Yeah, you guys go B. I go mid HM.
Here.
I'm gonna dash top tube. Look, can Sova.
You want to play? Let's
Welcome
play.
to my world.
Good.
Toxins going up.
I think one yellow.
Smoke up.
All off.
Hey, two, one more.
Okay.
He's upping it.
Wall raised.
Toxins going up.
My wall gonna be off soon.
Toxin screen down.
Careful, snowman.
Yeah.
Kitchen clear, right?
Yeah, but he's running.
Toxins going up.
Call BB man. All off soon.
Yeah.
All off now.
One city.
One snowman.
One enemy remaining.
Snowman
I
has.
think. Snowman.
I think snowman last side.
For you.
Poison orb emitting. Toxins going up.
Reloading.
Upping.
What the hell?
Poison's off.
If you are not doing well, keep trying. We must keep up appearances.
You can drop one. I can drop you.
Anyone need anything?
I can rest.
Can rest here. I go.
Yeah, you can.
Harusnya. Belum ternyata. Udah nih.
We'll spare them here.
Whoa,
2 losses in the
let's
round.
go.
But RRQ starting things off quite nicely, much like they did on Icebox.
Yeah, and just a really pivotal point in this round is Elmimore deciding to push off the back of that poison cloud being thrown out, knowing that he has just enough time to get in there, get a few shots out before his opponent can, as they swap back to their gun. It's a really good read on that situation there. Follow up with some judges. That is pretty sick there, Australia. That was pretty clean. The ghost, but okay. So you did what you got to do. A little bit of damage done by Gen G, but still the judge to be considered. Guardian as well for Australia. A couple Bulldogs. Still Ghost floating around in the mix for RRQ, and Gen G will be taking their time exploring Garage.
Cam set up. Waiting a spot. Reveal the C2.
Camera taken out.
It's the reveal. And more now. Considering whether or not he wants to go for the ADS. There's the jiggle peek. There's the punish again.
Cage triggered.
Cage now pop. Swings out. It's just a second too late to potentially find the kill. Just forcing them back for now.
Yeah, both teams reading each other well. Meteor making contact in mid with Australia. Neither finding any damage. Australia, oh.
Okay. Get the one shot there. Oh, Trailblazer goes in, and look at the chase. Meteor rushing forward. Just catching him before he can recover the weapon. Kill comes in. Elmimore now. Be in a world of pain, but no, somehow that Trailblazer does not connect. What tracking? Does manage to find textures. He jumps down with Meteor quick on the reply. Shadow will intercept, takes out Karen, but Meteor
30 seconds left.
picking up a third. Suddenly is in a potential position to find an ace.
Tons of damage done already.
Les Munchkin takes this one. Oh! Jemkin somehow got away with that kill. Now Meteor, yeah, feeling it. One more to go. You can see the wraparound coming through Jemkin. Rotating around towards Garage. Time is dwindling. He's got all the util to try to work with. Meteor now sussing out that it maybe is in Garage, but no! Turns away for a brief little moment, ends up getting taken down. Ace denied, and potentially another bonus conversion here for RRQ if Jemkin can win this out, and he does! 3 kills for him in the round. As RRQ, again, just echoing their performance that we saw in Icebox. 3 rounds consecutively right off the bat. The question is, does Gen G get another thrifty going into round 4?
Yeah, I mean, this one, just a bit off there is Munchkin. A little bit wider than he expected. Maybe hoping for just the slow walk. But it was a swing there from Jemkin that got him that first kill. Started opening up things for himself. Meteor does have a Blade Storm. The judge for Munchkin, couple stingers.
Maybe some reassessment on the buy, but it seems like Judge is going to stick through.
Get out of my way.
And maybe just a very fast hit here onto the A site. Double push up ramp for a brief moment before they drift back down. Trailblazer sent out. Paint shells towards Headphone. Head spotted, but Elmimore catching Meteor just a little bit faster than he gets caught. Push up now into the cyber cage, ring around the Rosie, but snappy from Elmimore finds the headshot, sends out that Nero theft. The ping down onto the rest of the players. The push up, Lakia dead, abandoning the spike at the base of the ramp. Where Elmimore seems like he is hungry for a couple more kills. Tries swinging out. The judge is going to be put to use, but it's going to be the one kill found. Is it time into triple face now at the top of the ramp? Karen able to find one, but won't get much more than that. Still closer than he might have considered, but this time RRQ do stop Gen G from picking up the thrifty.
Yeah, Elmimore is feeling it on this Cypher. He's so quick to react with not just his utility, but his guns.
Nice.
Australia as well, having some snappy shots. Just trying to push up this ramp. The
Gokil.
crossfire too much to deal with. Yeah, KANAN able to find the wallbang with the Sheriff, but Gen.G flirting with another eco if they can't get this round to go. You do have Cosmic Divide for KANAN, and my boy got a good ult. Let's use it.
So only 3 orbs collectively away from 3 ultimates are RRQ. Their own Cosmic Divide, Showstopper, as well as the Seekers. Which if you're going to be playing into that Astra ult, the Seekers can certainly help spot out everybody. As that guiding light from Estrella, noting some players here over at ramp.
And look how quick they are to shift off that little bit of info. Gen.G hasn't been really keen to switch sides of the map.
Shots exchanged between Texture and Estrella. Estrella getting the worst of it. Down to 43.
Now they recognize that things are maybe a little bit more difficult than they expected here. A little bit more contact than they'd like. You're going to leave Meteor, try to buy a little bit of time, try to show that you're still using that jet over on the other side of the map as a duelist to keep attention.
It's that Showstopper, but the wall comes back up, and that does allow for Meteor to drift his way back through A main and get out scot-free. Meanwhile, the rest of the team set up here. At B, pushing through Garage. Trailblazer will spot Xfero here at backside. Paint Shell sent his way. The jump forward, but the grab well, setting up for the kill. Full flash is there. He pulls back away to safety, but can he find more value? Paint Shell's flushing him forward. Xfero, good for 3. Now is surrounded. He's got some rescue. Coming in, though, is Meteor up over the top. Drops right in front of him.
Whoa,
He'll get the chance of the ace, but he
Xfero.
got so damn close. Estrella able to find the final kill as RRQ continuing on their merry way.
I mean, just so well handled here by Xfero, all on his own, able to use his own utility and his own positioning to best Gen.G. Knowing that somebody's going to be coming at him, catches a perfect timing on that grab well to slow up Texture. Swings to the other side, finds a couple more, just reading that so well. Yeah, you've got to take a timeout now. This is going really sideways really fast for Gen.G. This is their map pick. Expecting to maybe feel comfortable, and instead they're getting shellacked.
Yeah. Been a very dominant beginning here. RRQ seemingly having an incredibly strong read regarding how Gen.G is trying to pilot this defender, or this attacker side, I should say.
Yeah.
Like you said, the more you can shut down that attacking half, the more well poised you are as you get ready to go onto it yourself.
And precisely, especially against a double duelist comp, where on split, that's if you're going to lead into that, you're hoping to do a little bit more damage. And this time around, Gen.G, it just hasn't quite been there. Haven't really been able to get comfortable on any of their executes. You know, they try to push from space, they try to find an early pick, and rarely are they able to find it. With RRQ, they're reading their positions really well, and the snappy shooting is certainly helping. Some of those shots from Elmimore and Xfero have been, and Estrella as well, have been really on point.
Watching this spot.
And now you've got Showstopper to worry about. The Seekers you were talking about earlier, Achilleos, are in play, their own Cosmic Divide. And only the lone hero Phantom for Meteor. Everybody else Sheriffs. Few ults really close to being online for Gen.G.
Yeah, which will time out well for them getting ready to go into the next buy round.
Oh no.
Meteor wanting to try to clear through, spots one, goes for the spray. Full flash coming in, but up over the top, back down into the poison orb, and somehow he manages to survive. Had that blast pack been a little bit closer, he might have just died, but KANAN does it again. 2 quick kills. The Sheriffs coming up with the goods. The B site broken open. And Flipshider not noting that Meteor was still hovering around there. Flip's now dropping down. On the push forward, Boombot getting the spot for a quick little second there. Swing out though. This time KANAN not going to be able to find the shot. Elmimore a little bit faster with it, and that is going to send Texture packing all the way back over towards that A site. The Meteor gets himself in this position to find the flank.
Should be able to snag up a gun along the way. Elmimore.
Elmimore is just ready for it.
My God.
I think maybe Meteor conscious about somebody coming in from behind, pushing down the stairs to try to go on this rotate, but now the cam's identified Texture. He knows he's just got to go for the site. Is going to get caught by the trap wire, is going to get slowed up. Moves the dart. Plant would give him a showstopper. Can he use that to find 2 quick kills? They're closing in on him so fast, and I think he pulled it. I think I saw the animation. I could be wrong, but time will tell. I couldn't hear the audio cue, but if he lost it there, oh, Elmimore fired up, then that is just going to be salt in the wounds.
It's just kind of over-reading the map here. You know, Meteor gets...
He lost it.
He lost it. Oh, boy.
Yep. That is catastrophic.
Oh,
Thought,
man.
if I just clear this corner.
Yep.
This goes here.
That's painful for Gen G.
Yep. That is a cherry on top for RRQ. One less piece of util to worry about. Still some decent ones here for Gen G, but so far getting them into a strong position to be able to actually utilize them has been difficult. Showstopper going out. Lakia going to be taking a little bit of damage as Elmi Moore is able to find one. Straight up pushing up, Lakia taken out. Tradeback's come through, and Jemkin, I think, was trying to turn from the flash, ends up getting caught and eliminated. As this is just one of the wonkiest rounds we've seen so far. Seems like RRQ still in a strong position. Heron rotating out. Does have the spike in hand, but has to shoot the Seeker. Jig is up. They know he's on the site. The tap coming through, the jump peek. Estrella not getting caught by it. Sees flips, knows that he's dropped down. And Estrella will just be able to hold a hard line, eliminating him as RRQ continue just running away with this. 7-0 now.
I mean, this crunch looked like Gen G might have been able to bail out of it a little bit outside of B main, but in the lobby there, they're just eventually shut down. Again, this is just such a snappy team. These Phantoms working a treat for RRQ. And no answers to be found for Gen G. They've tried fast hits. They've tried to move around the map. Nothing working. It seems like at every twist and turn, they're either outguessing or kind of underestimating the positioning of RRQ. And now they've got a pit. Give Flips the opportunity. Try to get in, really keep them at bay, or potentially now going to be secured. Elmi Moore with another neural theft. Xfero still sitting on his wall. Munchkin now with a pit. Lakia has the Seekers. Let's see if they commit them. Try to clear space onto A. Meteor with just a judge. Actually passes it over to Munchkin for the pit.
Flash coming through, and it's like fire will be met with fire. Seeker's going to be cleaned out, but Heron able to find two, but Estrella answering back. Tries to keep them in this one, but ultimately it's going to be Gen G with that man advantage. Elmi Moore able to give a parting gift kill over to Munchkin.
That's the pit.
Swiftly dealt with. The pit is going to be gone. But now Flipshider having to deal with Texture and Lakia. Sends out a shot. They know his position. They're playing a little bit more spread out there. Spike going to be sent down, trying to force him back, trying to stop him from wrapping around. Flips, you can tell he just has no idea where Texture's positioned. It's just back screen on the site, but he's just staying stalwart, staying statuesque. Sat in place, and as he tries to go for the drop down, the kill will be found. In round 8, Gen G will finally get themselves a win.
And it's still not easy. It's still tooth and nail just to get that one round. I mean, that contest right at the bottom of ramp here. I mean, great stuff from Keychron, and then Estrella answered right back. I mean, Estrella's really in it on this map. So quick, RRQ here, just able to reset so nicely after that tough loss on Icebox.
There's no chance to even try to celebrate off the back of that one. Stay focused up. I mean, Gen G are in a potential spot where they could rescue this half. If they can make it up to 5, hell, even an 8-4, might feel pretty decent about it. But as that trap wire gets the reveal, Lakia gets struck down. Elmi Moore quick to collect. Spike now going to be picked up. Jemkin stopping Meteor from pushing forward, and Elmi Moore gets that retrigger, gets the kill. And Jemkin will find himself a second as well. Girl Death out, Karen surrounded, taken down, and in reply, RRQ, they find themselves with a flawless win to continue pushing forward. 8 rounds now for them.
And this is just RRQ happy to give up a little bit of space, and Meteor just pushing too far on his own, not able to win these duels that they so desperately need. Jemkin just waiting with open arms a little bit.
What a drag across.
Yeah, that was not easy to recorrect that aim. Able to do so. But again, they dodge all the early utility, and then they just wait back to say, come to us. And then it's that one trap wire that isn't accounted for that catches Lakia in transition with Spike, and that's the round just completely thrown into disarray and falling apart for Gen G.
Big change up here from Xfaro. Hasn't taken this position yet. Question is, does Meteor check for it on the entry? Or Texture, whichever one decides to go first. Do they go for the quick look left? Oh boy. Well, Sand Flash comes in, and yep, Texture, privy to it. Comes up with a kill. Just back down. A little bit of damage, but nothing too concerning. Drop down from Flips, he ends up getting full flash,
Oh,
but Jem
Jim
keeps
Jim.
something on with 3 kills. Potential for an ace here. Karen's so low, but Elmi Moore will be able to take him down, and that now means that it's all on Munchkin. Sheriff in hand, rotating through the defender's spawn. One shot will finish off the enemy Raze, but Elmi Moore, with as snappy as he's been, proved to be a much more resilient target.
Are they going to be able to read this is the real question.
For the time being, neither of them playing in towards his sight line, so Munchkin has to come well out into the site. They split apart, so...
Does he pit first?
It'd be so
30
risky.
seconds left.
It would give up the game so very swiftly, and it looks like, yeah, now Munchkin is watching for it, has noted it. Doesn't get the shots in the manner that he was looking for, but... Okay, the readjustment comes in. Munchkin able to find the kill, and Elmi Moore not trying to rush it down. Now he's in with a shout, but can't quite line up the head.
Nice.
Elmi Moore still standing, keeps them well in the lead.
Bukan Emimor anjir, itu flip jeder anjir.
It's just so tough for Gen G. I
Anjir,
mean,
amat.
everybody playing so well off of each other here for RRQ. What the
Gila,
world,
Jemkin.
Jemkin.
Absolutely disgusting.
Just ridiculous. And
Yeah.
just, it seems like at every twist and turn that there's any opportunity for Gen G, it's just shut right down. Munchkin able to find at least the one, but yeah, I mean, you gotta.
Yeah, I mean, given just the disadvantage,
You need
second
these 2
timeout
rounds.
has to be burned. Gen G throwing everything in the kitchen sink at this one here to see if they can get something back. 9-3. I mean, that used to be the borderline, the absolute limits of feeling okay about old split when it was so defender-sided. These days, when you're running a double duelist especially, not so much.
Exactly, and I'm just really curious to see how Gen G is going to adapt here. I mean, I think they just need to play for each other a little bit more. To keep it simple, if I'm a coach in this situation, I'm probably just saying just play off of each other, guys. It seems like a lot of times some of these fights get isolated, or you're not really communicating very well with who's positioned where and who's covering what angles. It seems like every once in a while RRQ able to find some opportunities to get some freebies. And that's really costly, especially on a map like Split, where small mistakes can completely throw a round into disarray. Another divide and pit, showstopper and divide on the other side for RRQ. So ult's available. One away from a showstopper is Texture as well. See if they can make a play for him to get potentially that showstopper available, but instead they're just going to try to push up mid, and Flip's reading it pretty well here to at least buy a little bit of time and then bail out as he doesn't have any real assistance available from the other side.
Pulls back. Until they're still worried about that Viper wall, so concern with potential push up onto that A ramp. As Jemkin continues to hold forward. Looks like he's going to try to go off the back of this one.
Oh.
Dash away. Showstopper not going to be able to find much value. A little bit of damage. It was pushed out there, but the heal comes in. Lakia getting Karen back up to full HP. Just don't think he was quite ready for how many people he saw outside of the garage. A little bit of a panic ult. Gives us regards to Rosa, as now Lakia going on a hunt, but won't come up with anything.
And it's all 5 at Gen G here, so RRQ has to turn their attention back towards male because no one's watching it. They have to be aware of it, but now they can reset because there was nobody there to punish. And even though I said I want to see Gen G play as a team, you do need a little bit of a flank angle potentially. Let's see if Estrella can hold on.
Flash for flash, Estrella does manage to get caught by that one, but I mean the covering fire from Jemkin and Xfaro, too damn good. Estrella out as well, finding his legs. The time is dwindling, the spike stranded out into the open, and That should just about do it. KIRI needed to win that one to give Munchkin any hope in hell. He falls down, and RRQ, I mean, the pain they are pushing out onto Gen G right now, it just absolutely continues.
It is just tremendous what they're doing. It is so impossible right now for Gen G to accomplish anything that they want to do. Trying different
Lu lagi nonton juga.
Every twist and turn, RRQ so
Anjir, RRQ pertama
so
tinggi
good.
banget anjir.
You don't have anybody
Hampir
watching.
menang bangsat.
Bentar, gue pakai headset.
Look for the lurker, look for the flanker, see if they were trying to set up a crunch. Okay, it's not there. Let's get right back into position. Set up to this B hit. And it is so impossible right now. Shot goes wide, shows.
Jason texture pretty much trying to take it down to KIRI. Taking out of that nebula. Final one. Gets caught. Goes out once more. Nice shot from him. Shoves him down. Final round of the halves, of course, they're going to go ahead and invest everything. Elmore able to find one before getting taken down. Jemkin arrives, takes out texture. Still alive, still in this fight. Keeps him in with the advantage. Straya, the latest player, the one who needs to try to get it done, can't make it happen. He ends up falling, and that is going to be a 10-2 half as Gen G hope and pray that they can replicate DRX's success versus Billy Gaming. On a very different map.
Never forget, yeah. It's very, very different. But, I mean, you see these comebacks on this map all the time, to be honest. I mean, if you can really get a groove like we just saw going on your defender side, you definitely can run it right back, send it into an overtime.
Hello.
No strangers to those. Or any region. Definitely used to be, right? It's only bangers on split. But I'm not so sure right now. I think RRQ is a very different beast, a very different animal on this map. And Solo, not sure what he can do to rally the team as they were beat at almost every twist and turn. And even in that final round when they got the win, it was still scrappy. And Ewok's having a chuckle. I mean, those RRQ guys, they're a funny bunch.
Somebody was doing the Olay chant.
Ah, were they? That's it, yeah. Flips. I would bet money. Flips.
Well, I mean, every reason right now to be in high spirits on the side of RRQ, despite the loss, you know, close one on Icebox. This is
baru
a hell of a
babak.
way to fire back. We very well could get our first look at Sunset properly here in VCT.
And Sunset was the map that Gen G was banning during Convergence, so kind of curious to see what they've been cooking. They didn't want to show it there. See what they have something saved. Look at Elmimore's scoreline.
I mean, he's just been a beast.
Whoa.
Yeah, is it the numbers that we saw from Texture in the last map? No. Is it still impressive?
There just aren't enough rounds available to get to those numbers.
I know, exactly. This has been so one-sided, just can't make it happen. You'd have to be getting aces in every single round.
Yeah. Well, they try to go for the push, slowed up momentarily by the well.
Okay, Jemkin on that entry. Manages to stick it, plant his feet, finds Texture, looks for a little bit more, but KANAN is even going to be able to find the kill.
Whoa, KANAN.
He looks for the port, can't make it
Anjir,
happen.
KANAN.
But he's done so much work here for the team. Straying out. Last one standing, almost takes out Lockheed, puts him down to 5 HP. Meteor watches for the ramp's approach, and it's actually going to be Munchkin who claims the kill. We will stay dead even in pistol rounds, but Gen G still a world of work to be done if they want to get themselves back into this. But that's the first step taken.
Munchkin's got a big smile on his face, so at least spirits remain high for Gen G. You know, sometimes you have a bad half. If you can just shake it off, things can quickly turn your way. Keychron, oh my. Lined up.
Suara gue dapet nggak?
Pushing through that wall. Shut down one after the other. Clean stuff.
Gede juga suara gue.
New potential prodigy.
Damage there. Helping out a bit as well. We're back to normal. We're back to 2023 VCT Pacific.
Okay, well, hearing that forward push coming in, that's a lot of damage down to the Jemkin. Flip's not going to be catching any of that one, but Meteor back in mid will be able to find Elmore. The jump shots coming through.
Wow,
pressure out, but Munchkin from above up on the Raptors able to find the kill. Shot from Jemkin will get Meteor taken down, which gives him a Marshall.
Feels like a bit of an overheat there from Meteor. Get that first kill and kind of
I mean, look, who
dive
knows?
deep. I mean, look,
who
it is a Meteor.
knows when he's going to be able to play Jet again?
That's true.
You know, if people start banning Split, actually, I don't think unless they run this back, I don't know if anyone's going to be banning Split against them. But
that's true. And remember that ace he had with the Marshall on Breeze.
Yeah.
He just pushed and just kept killing. So, you know what? If anybody in the world is allowed to do it, it's him.
And Aspas. And
well, okay, yeah.
Yay. And
there's many, yes. There's many who it's allowed.
BOSE.
Yeah, BOSE isn't really that kind of player usually.
Nah, not really.
Not with a Marshall.
Well, Texture now looking to put an end to this round. Swing out. He is going to get clipped by that Marshall.
30 seconds left.
There's the team joining in. Jemkin going to get finished off as he just tries to grab that orb.
Ah.
Spray through. He'll be rewarded with the kill. Straight up, once again, last man standing. Seeing if he can find anything to top off that round. He cannot. Anti-Eco going the way of Gen G here. Now, we saw, that bonus get picked up from RRQ back over on Icebox.
Iya.
Gen G replicate
Kenapa?
the beginning of this map now. Can they stop it? Can they get the conversion?
Nggak masuk. Gue denger. Gue denger kok.
Yeah, and if they can.
Suara lu maksudnya nggak masuk.
Back of your head as
Anjir,
RRQ.
gue denger padahal.
Oh boy. Maybe neither team just really has an attacker side set up for each other. Texture.
Lu setting ininya apa speakernya mau kemana ke laptop lu, ke speaker, apa ke headset lu.
Input ini masuknya yang mana dah? Input ini mic gua kan?
Iya mic lu. Yang outputnya. Outputnya.
Itu headset.
Output itu yang buat kuping.
Seems like right now everybody's getting along because even with this 6-round deficit they find themselves in, they're still high-spirited and animated.
Lu coba ubah aja output inputnya.
Rather late here in Seoul, South Korea as well.
These are gamers.
That's true. None of these players are going to bed until like 3 or 4 hours from now. Anyway.
They're probably still going to go home and play solo queue after this.
100%.
Tes.
Go for timing.
Iya. Denger gak? Denger gak?
Well, if you won't, I will. Finds the kill.
He got a hit.
Yeah. Jemkin clipped by that one, down to 15. Heals will come out. And it's just going to be the dry peaks coming in this time.
No.
He'll get finished off. Meteor good for the shot. Pop flash up over the top of the screen. Sparrow on the side. The spray through. Both of them so very low. Meteor goes for the hip fire. Finds one. Once again, it's all on a strand. He can't make it happen. Meteor scoops up the 3K with a Marshall in head. And Gen G convert the bonus.
It's madness. Neither team seems to really be able to break the other's defenses. I mean, this is so well read here by Lakia. Able to then just readjust back behind the pillar.
Lo kalau mau pakai suara Discord
this double angle
di live lo gitu,
with
harus
Meteor
masukin.
and both of them playing it so well.
I get it now.
Ini,
Because Lakia, he jumped down
and
did the spray. So as long as he jumps off,
berarti suara gua nggak ke-record dulu.
Lakia will get a kill.
Record kok gua ada.
He is one of the worst X-Men, but he's still an
X-Men. Settingan OBS-nya.
Well, that is going to force the first timeout here.
Oh, maksud lu kalau gua mau live stream gitu?
Iya.
Still a very comfortable lead, but as we get ready to go into, what should be a fairly low buy from them, you run the risk of
Waktu itu
allowing
gua main sama
Gen G to
Adul
get back
ya
within
gitu.
touching distance.
Pakai Discord. Mereka pakai Discord, jadi
Initially, I
nggak
was
ada
thinking
in-game.
maybe they were actually going to tie their most dominant.
Oh, kalau in-game nggak ke-record ya suara lu nya?
10 and 2 on Lotus before.
Enggak, gue bikin setting dua-duanya ke record. Maksud gue kalau main Valo nih, mic di Valo-nya gue matiin.
So I thought, okay, maybe they'll be able to tie.
Iya, maksud gua kalau lu pakai voice in-game nggak kedengeran kan suara lu nggak ke-record.
And that map was the only one that they were able to take away from Gen G last season.
Yeah, for sure.
But now, well, from Marshall to Operator, Pain could very well continue here. This time being dished up by Gen G.
Anjir, RRQ udah 6 round belum nambah poin.
They're forcing up.
Yeah, they are.
Flip's just walking his way forward. Guiding light.
A nice little micro adjustment here from Meteor off that light contact, knowing that somebody could be close. Just going to be fully committing to backing off. Munchkin. Oh my word, Munchkin.
What in the hell? What are these reads?
Come on, man.
Munchkin catching Jemkin. I mean, that's just all your entry power taken away. That much more pressure on the rest of the team. Meteor popping the dash. One's over to the left. And meantime, Texture catching Elmore on the lurk. The push out of the poison orb. Munchkin claims the second one, just holding down mid. Now stranding the spike and spots Australia as well. 3 kills and suddenly it's just Flipshider. This force up doesn't get them much of anything. They'll avoid the flaws. That final kill coming across, but Gen G now. 5 consecutive rounds across the halves.
Orang di satu kalah ya RRQ.
Lakia headbutted a bullet there for Meteor. I'll take one for the team here, bro.
Skornya 12-10 anjir.
Make sure we get this shot down.
Itu dia nembak kagak perlu dikeker anjing. Ngekill mulu bangke.
Ya harus biasain kayak gitu.
At every point of contact, not really allowing any utility to affect them, and in some cases just like you were saying, out reading their opponents. I mean,
dari
how
jauh,
many kills
dari
have we seen
dekat
through
nggak
smokes
ngeker.
that didn't really have a lot of information.
Wah, dia mungkin mati lagi.
The showstopper available. One of those big entry tools now gone. Meteor again avoids the flash. Flipshider able to find the kill. He's looking for the flick there. Flipshider will just end up getting taken out by the bite. Meteor, the stylish finish. A 3K for him. As Gen G just plowing on.
Buset.
Today's an interesting day.
It really is.
I'm so glad you're here.
Tuh kalau nonton biar nggak
Anjir.
This has just fully confirmed though. Give it.
Tuh kalau nonton biar nggak apa telat di Twitch TV nontonnya. Ada Valorant Pacific.
Yeah. Oh no.
Since T1 got off
Oh,
stage.
that's where
Lalu bukan di YouTube.
Enggak, live-nya gue di YouTube. Nontonnya di Twitch.
We need to stop putting them at the top of the schedule.
I kind of am starting to feel that way now too. I mean, this is
Soalnya Twitch lebih cepat dia iniannya. YouTube tuh jelek.
a lot of good gameplay. A lot of enjoyable Valorant that we've been seeing.
Iya ada iklannya anjing di Twitch.
Iya 30 detik
A
doang. Habis
Valorant
itu
enjoyer, so
langsung
this is
ini.
going great.
Nggak ada iklan
This
lagi.
push though, now we're talking about that position earlier. Texture is going to be the one up there. He gets set up.
Oh no!
Oh my god.
Jepkin tries to pull the showstopper and Karen just shuts it down instantly.
Lu nonton ini nggak anime Shangri-La? Nonton? Itu seru anjir.
Iya seru anjir.
Meskipun cuma game, nggak ada mati beneran tapi
iya.
vibe-nya dapet.
Mana nggak pakai baju lagi anjing ya?
Hah?
Nggak pakai baju.
Sparrow taking down Elmore now.
Kepalanya ayam.
Trying to play for the win. Gets the tag out, but Lakia stands his ground.
Ya.
Gets himself a 4K, and you can see Gen G
Time out.
rallying back.
RRQ. Aduh.
What are we witnessing?
Lakia stood up and gave him a little something, and it's a drop down. He came down.
It's been a while since we've seen it, but we know that Lakia's got the showmanship in him. It was him and Suggest cutting the ears off of Vanity at the end back in Reykjavik.
Oh my god, I had forgotten about that. Oh.
Emang ada timeout ya beginian ya?
Ada.
And he dropped.
Timeoutnya ngapain istirahat? Apa ngatur strategi lagi?
Strategi sama ini coachnya.
I mean, hey, if it works.
Berapa kali dia timeout bisa?
Satu side sekali.
Take a bit of damage here though. Lakia maybe getting a bit overzealous. We'll just go ahead and pull back here.
Biasanya buat merusak tempo sih itu timeout.
Iya bisa gitu. Merusak tempo sama. Kalau kalah ya udah biar ini yang namanya. Kalau menang biar harus strategi berbeda lagi biasanya.
Kayak main basket anjir ya. Timeout.
Tapi kalau basket timeoutnya ada banyak ya.
These lurks, these reads here from Karen. Just picking them apart. Elmore not able to find any value now. Munchkin dropping the pit over here on the A side. He wants to flush up right over into this thing. He puts down so much damage. Jepkin on 1 HP, but Sparrow there with the rescue.
Anjir.
Drops in the Meteor. Too quick with the judge up on the top. Tries to find a third. Can't make it happen.
Jadi seru.
We'll clean up the last 2 kills. The onslaught continues, and Gen G, they cannot be stopped.
What
berapa kali round up ini Pin?
From Munchkin. What
Pokoknya sampai 13 duluan.
Those seekers come around. He
Oh,
knows
12 overtime.
Berapa kali game?
Oh, 2 map.
This angle, I'm gonna at least do damage. He's able to even
Ini map kedua.
fall back, get down to the ground.
Ya berarti kalau ini kalah udah gugur ya? Apa gimana?
Enggak, lower bracket.
You know, easy kills. They're easy because they're already so weak. Even at that range with the judge. no problem. Meteor almost finds the third.
Ini mapnya itu tuh map
Fantastic
defense
individual
dia
effort
tuh.
there from Munchkin to set
Gue
that
lebih
up.
demen defense.
Hero rifle here for RRQ.
And look at this, the Outlaw, because they know that it has to be half armors or just, you know, no armor because of the economy.
Painting a picture around him right now, but Flipshutter, he finds the perfect timing. Now Showstopper is going to come through. Texture jumping forward. That's just going to be Jemkin dead to rights.
I know exactly.
Now Neural Depth can be invested, trying to stabilize that aim. Can't quite make it happen. Flipshutter going to find himself a third. As well as a monster.
Indonesia perwakilan siapa aja, Ben?
For the side of RRQ.
Itu apa nih maksudnya nih? Ini kan tim kan, jadi ada campur negara lain. Itu yang Indonesia tuh Xvero, RRQ.
Maksud gue tim Indonesianya.
Cuma ini doang RRQ. Apa tuh ya? BM itu apa BM?
Berarti yang pure Indo cuma si Vero doang, sisanya bukan.
Bukan, maksud gua RRQ. Ini kan RRQ tim Indonesia. Nah, orang Indonesia tuh Xvero, terus Flips Jeder, sama Lemimor, lu lihat ntar namanya. Nah, ini Flips Jeder Indonesia nih.
Gets it started. Able to find a couple big kills.
Oh, EVOS nggak ada divisi Valorant ya?
Baru mau bikin tahun ini.
Oh, masih ini ya? AE ya?
Tahun lalu tuh, iya. Tahun lalu tuh Boom Esport ada. Boom Esport tahun lalu.
Terus bangkrut, tutup.
Apa?
Tutup.
Enggak lolos ini. Ini kan kalau masuk VCT Kickoff gini kan harus nyampe titik tertentu.
Very far back. Trailblazer not spotting anything, which could lead them to believe that he's going to be in sewer. And there's the peek out.
Ini apa sih Piala Dunianya?
Bukan regional, Pasifik. Asia Pasifik.
Oh.
Jadi Jepang, Korea, India, Indonesia, Singapura, Filipina. Atau Indonesia kan yang orang Indonesia Xvero, Flips Jeder, Elmimor, Estrella Korea, Jemkin orang Rusia. Saya mukanya Cina banget.
Anjir. Orang Rusia.
Iya. Tapi perusahaan Indonesia bikin timnya di Singapura. Lo tau UC 1000 kan?
Tahu.
Itu kan sebenarnya perusahaan Indonesia ngambil license di luar kan. Nah yang Indonesia itu bikin tim Singapura, namanya Paperex, yang gue mau nonton tanggal 19 besok.
Oh.
Nah itu ada Indonesia 3 orang. Satu Malaysia, satu Rusia.
Iya, enaknya game yang drill e-sport nih kayak dia Dota.
Iya.
Pemainnya tuh global anjir.
Iya global, jadi nggak cuma ini.
Nggak Asia doang.
Cuma ada beberapa tim yang maunya tuh lokal doang. Kayak Korea tuh ada satu tim yang pengennya orang Korea doang. Jadi nggak boleh non Korea.
Nah berarti masih gila Dota mah hampir semua tim campur aja.
Iya. Korea sama Jepang juga ada. Jadi apa namanya? Pemainnya wajib negara itu. Karena mereka tuh udah punya kayak akademinya gitu. Akademi yang udah dididik dari kecil.
Nih kalau Mobile Legends mentok Filipina anjir sama Malaysia doang.
Sini ya. KIRI ya gue ya. Kayak gue ya, KIRI.
Oh.
Players trying to rally back as the fans as well getting involved. And shout outs to all of them for sticking around as late and as long as it has been, as well as all of you who've been tuned in since the very beginning of the day.
And all the co-streamers who had to find ways.
Ini tanggal 19 nonton di mana, Vin?
Di tuh bentar gue coba lihat email gue.
Alright, well, Meteor.
I mean, there is very little ambiguity about this.
Flash
sent out. Snake bite in Nate as well. Emmy Moore going to be able to find one, but Texture takes him down. The swing around. Meteor trying to get an angle. Finds it. Jemkin take it down. Go back in.
Oh, nobar.
Iya nobar. Tapi harus daftar gitu, soalnya yang ngadain Paperex-nya.
Tapi apa?
Tapi harus daftar kemarin.
Oh, nggak bisa on the spot.
Oh ya, on the spot harus nunggu yang kalau nggak jadi datang gitu-gitu. Acaranya gratis. Tempat makan sama minum ya lumayan lah.
Just the brilliance. That's
Gue
all
bawa
that
bendera
is.
Pepperach
Just
sekarang.
dodging everything that he knows could be coming, expecting the swing around the corner at elbow. After this first shot, he might even caught a glimpse of a pixel there from Estrella and just is ready for it. So quick to react after dashing into screens.
Tadi map sebelumnya tekstur anjir.
The snake bite. Just nuts.
Ya anjir jadi sepi goblok.
I mean, that's the critical round right there. Okay, Xparrow will be able to find one. The push out from Texture over at Garage manages.
Itu si Gen ini tim dari mana?
Korea.
Dissuade them from pushing forward.
Oh.
This was a very early cosmic.
Wah anjir. Gokil.
Respond, quick to readjust, finds Meteor, keeps RRQ with an advantage.
All that contact on the other side of the map, I think, gave Meteor a little bit of false confidence that he could push. And he paid the price. Jemkin had snuck up there underneath his nose.
Nggak ada yang pakai tangan kiri nih.
Slowing down RRQ.
Apanya?
Get your squats in.
Mouse-nya.
Nembaknya iya.
Oh.
Not looking.
Biasanya kalau ini kan POV umum ya. POV umum biasanya kanan. Default gitu.
Oh, nggak ngikutin ya?
Iya, nggak ngikutin pemain. Kecuali lu lihat titiknya tuh. Crosshair-nya baru ngikutin.
Getting corralled up over here towards screens. Cosmic Divide now invested to try to go for the retake.
Aduh, Jemkin.
Solid start, Lockett pushing forward. Find Jemkin, much to take it down at the same time as Sparrow tries to hold it. He's taken low.
Sisa berapa sih? 2-1.
Iya, 2-1.
It's now all on camera. Doesn't read it though. Estrella striking.
12-11 anjir. Bangsat, enggak map 1 map 2 bikin tegang anjir. Tadi map 1 99, 88, 10-10 anjir.
That cosmic divide, not very deep. Genji's still able to get a few kills, giving themselves an opportunity, but Meteor there getting caught is painful after that tremendous round he had previously.
Nice, Xparrow kill 1.
Lining him up and at least getting one. Let's see now. Meteor back on that Marshall. Tried something a little bit different. Showstopper for Jemkin. He's gotten up and towards A Heaven, but Meteor's waiting here. Boombot.
Just waiting out the Trailblazer there.
They're wanting to see this op.
It's a pretty shallow jiggle. He's not going wide enough to actually spot this. White will actually force them back. Showstopper up over the top. Texture by Jemkin. Australia taken down by Lakia. Counterpart Sky.
Overtime nih.
Eliminated there, and now it's a 3v5. Try to close this.
Ya anjing 2 lawan 5. 3 lawan 5.
Elongating this series.
Genji fully committed to that A hit. Now they have to shift back over.
I mean, they're so well poised. They just know. We wait. Yep. We wait for the plant, and then we get ready to strike. Allow for the rest of the team to come back over, go for that full 5-pronged approach.
It's a little bit dicey, especially for Lakia. He's going to have to take his time coming through mid. They have no information in that part of the map, but pretty soon here, they're going to figure it out and have plenty of time to make this hit work.
Sparrow going to be the only one playing here within the site. Double snake bite, poison orb is set up. As they go for the concuss. Now Elmimore going to go on a bit of a walkabout around, trying to get this flank through.
Anjir.
Across, and Sparrow not going to be able to find anything. The first bite going to be let loose. Time ticking away. They have to be able to get onto this.
Gokil.
Anjing, menang bangsat. Bangsat menang.
Gokil.
Mati semua anjir.
Here, RRQ continue to seek their revenge.
I mean, that round looked like it should have Genji written all over it. It looked like it should have overtime written all over it.
Pelatihnya itu tuh yang bule.
And 2 players left.
Orang apa ya?
Orang warga negara Afrika Selatan.
Di Afrika ada internet.
Ada lah. Kalau Afrika Selatan kota mah ada. Pinggirnya nggak ada.
I was gonna say
Anjay.
RRQ bounced back, but honestly, that was more like a pudding
Gila.
sort of wading through the mush because it looked like they were just gonna clean sweep
Gila
it,
sih.
and then something happened. Gen
Chaos
G
banget kan,
showed
lu lihat
up
kan
with their
tadi
double
kan?
duelist
Anjir.
comp, which we were
Iya.
also in doubt of, and it was
Kalau gue udah nggak salah.
RRQ
Iya.
at the very last moment took it back into their hands.
I'm just so exhausted, and not because the night is long.
Emotional.
Yeah, and
Nah, lu
aside from,
harus
I've
mulai
always
belajar
had hope
pakai,
that I think
kan lu suka
RRQ's
pakai
direction is good
ini
and the
kan,
philosophy is
Spectre
good.
kan.
It's just that we saw
Berarti
once
cocoknya pakai
again
ini,
some of the
apa
weaknesses they
namanya,
had
Phantom.
last year, which was they start to run out of steam, and once they run
Phantom
out of
Phantom
steam,
yang mana
it's
ya?
really hard
Jadi
for them
di
to
atasnya
regroup.
Vandal
Now,
kan, lu
obviously,
bisa pakai beli
result-wise,
Vandal kan,
in this
di
map,
atasnya Vandal.
they
Oh.
eventually did it,
Dia
but
cepet
boy,
kayak
like you said, it was a
Spectre.
crawl, not a sprint across the finish line.
I mean,
Cuma damage-nya
so
lebih
many
gede dan lebih
rounds,
lurus.
especially on the second half. We were all saying these were rounds that they could have won. They should have won, in fact, but then somehow just not quite able to cross over that finishing line. Meanwhile,
Map
Gen G,
terakhir
I mean, the
apa ya tadi
stats
gua
really
nggak lihat
show it.
lagi.
Texture
Anjir.
was having a field day. Meteor was having
MVP
a field day. They
Meteor.
got a lot of first kills, and they managed to bring it
Yang
really
kanan dong,
close. But
RRQ.
towards the end, I mean, credit where it's
Oh
due,
iya, oh
RRQ
iya.
still were able to close it out.
MVP-nya
Gen loss.
Vero anjir.
Yeah, I mean,
Paling killnya
Meteor
15.
MVP for sure on the Gen G side. That was a little insane.
Dia playmaker kali.
Iya.
Hands.
Ini apa sih?
He went ham, actually. That's what he
Dia
did.
smoke.
Yes, he did.
Nge- smoke.
With the operator in his hands. But here's the good news for Gen G. Despite the loss on map 2, okay, Meteor, once again saying, I'm still good with the operator. I can still, somewhat do my job on Jet. Now, I would question how their attack rounds went, right? Because you have double duelists.
Map
There's
pertama
more
yang milih
ways you could
si
have utilized that
RRQ
explosive power. However,
kalah.
on defense,
Map
they
ini yang
understood
milih
that
Gen
RRQ doesn't have that
kalah.
firepower, right? So they can always spam
Jadi
through the
awal-awal
smokes,
ada
they can
ban
always delay them.
ini, ban
And then
map
those
juga tak.
couple rounds were actually Gen G.
Kalau dulu kan
Anjir.
ban karakter kan kalau Mobile
That
Legends
really
kan.
caught RRQ off guard once again.
Ban
Similar to
ini
Icebox
kan,
where RRQ was like, well, Gen G
hero.
doesn't do that. These
Ini
players don't
bannya
ever
TikTok
play.
mah nggak bisa live
No, now
live
they
ini
do.
ya,
Those
restream
are
ya.
all really strong aimers.
Gua
So,
belum pernah nyoba sih.
I would say overall, I think Gen G maybe had a better read on their specific opponent, but RRQ, I mean, also they picked defense.
Cuma nggak bisa
on
ngomong
split,
kasar,
and
gitu
then
aja
they picked
paling.
a composition that's very heavy on defense. So if they didn't have those 10 rounds, I think this would have been over a long time.
Sama
was
gua
one of
tadi
the big
copyright-nya
things, at least,
gimana?
for RRQ, because in the first half you can really see they had that game plan. Not a lot of like individual crazy performances, not like what Meteor did, but as a team they knew what Gen G was about to do. If they got information about a site hit that was incoming, they would vacate the site and just allow for that take to come through, and then pincer maneuver as Gen G.
Kalau lihat
tries to
killnya
go for that
banyakan
spike
ini
plant.
anjir,
A lot of
Gen G.
rounds RRQ picked up on that first half.
Iya.
It's just the second half that felt so like, oh, it's just not there yet.
Oh, it was so painful. They finally, at the 11-11 round, they took it back and bringing us to the final map of tonight, Sunset, which we're actually very
map terakhir
excited to
Sunset.
see.
Lu belum nyoba ya?
Again,
Lu
we
lihat
didn't see
ya?
any of these maps yet.
Map
We didn't see
baru.
from the previous match, and we definitely want to see how these
Mana yang
teams
tadi?
play it out
Hmm?
on Sunset moving forward.
Yang
Now,
tadi dimainin.
there are a lot of
Enggak,
mistakes,
ini mah
on both sides,
Lotus,
especially on the RRQ
Lotus
side
lagi.
in the second
Split
half.
ini
What
split.
are some things
Namanya
are
split.
we looking to see improved going into Sunset?
Well, I
Lihat map terakhir di mana? Oh, udah di share ya di awal-awal
Iya, di
ya.
awal-awal itu yang ban
Genji's
map
gonna
itu.
wait for
Udah
a
tentuin
peek,
di
just
situ.
gonna hold the angle. And
Oh,
then
di sini
spam through the
ban
smokes.
map.
I would also say RRQ,
Jadi
I'm glad to see
biasanya
a team
pelatih
still
sama satu
gambling
pemain
on the half armor economy
nentuin
to
mau
try
map
to kind
apa.
of build up for a longer run, but you're playing against
Iya.
a team with two guys
Kalau
who
di
know
Dota kan
their scopes
ngebannya
away,
ngeban hero
picking
kan.
up those
Iya.
outlaws again. I mean, I think these are risks that you have to kind of accommodate for your opponent. So I think after these two maps, recognizing, okay, this Gen G is different.
Gila
They
sih,
are
dia
living
tadi
up to the
tegang
expectations that
banget.
a lot of the fans had. How do we adjust that on map 3?
It was in that
Gua mau
VCT
nambah speed
specific,
murah nih kayaknya anjir. Jadi 85 Mbps.
And then
Berapa
the
jadinya?
outlaw really does come in texture. and
Tambah
really shows what it's
150 per bulan.
I mean,
Oh,
apart from
murah
all
itu.
these little things about like,
Iya,
assumptions
soalnya gue internet
that
doang,
I
nggak sama
do
TV.
think,
Iya, gue juga
at the
internet
very
doang.
least,
TV
both
buat apa?
sides, they had several times individual players.
Ah, bokap gua kan masih nonton TV mah.
Iya, enggak maksud gua apa namanya?
Catch players off
TV itu tuh TV kabel anjir, kayak tuh langganan.
Iya, TV kabel kan ada yang paketnya.
tighter gameplay at the
Bisa
very
mendingan
least.
YouTube aja.
I would also
Jadi
say
internetnya
it does
dicepetin.
seem like, again, these Sky changes are
Yes,
impacting some of the Sky
Biar
play,
bisa
right?
live
You
streaming
can
kayak
be
gue juga.
much more active with, you used to be able to be much more active with the Sky
Ntar kita
here on
bareng-bareng
Split. And
ngomongin
now,
apa
if you
gitu,
don't have the
game
double
apa.
duelist, once you use that like first
Atau lagi
Guiding Light or the
main
first
game
Trilogy, you're like,
lain
whoa,
bareng-bareng.
like, maybe we don't want to take the space, because if we use it now and like there's no
twice about it,
opposition,
yeah.
then like how do we get into the site? So, you know, there's some questions to be had.
Lu
about the
langsung
opposition as well. I'm
live
sure they'll review that and
3
see
platform
how
aja,
you play,
Pin.
or do you change the comp? But now going on
Meledak
to
ntar internet
Sunset,
gue,
I
anjir.
think we've seen, okay,
Nggak
Genji,
kuat.
very
Tadi
revitalized, good aim
masalahnya,
as well,
lu tau
good
lah.
operator, but my big
Sering
question is,
paket
Cypher
loss.
once again, an
Internet
agent that we've
gua.
seen time and time on Sunset throughout the off-season. Clearly, Elmi Moore has always felt comfortable on the Cypher, but when it comes to Genji,
Ini tuh
is
pertandingannya
Meteor ready
telat
to play
sebenarnya.
that,
Jadi
or
sebenarnya
are they
harusnya
gonna
mulai
switch? Maybe the Chamber
jam
comes out
12,
on Sunset as well.
tandingnya
We've seen
setengah
that during
1.
the off-season.
Tapi ada ini apa namanya?
Yeah, that Gecko's definitely
Error
lively.
di
Flips definitely
ininya,
showed us Gecko
live-nya.
on,
Jadi akhirnya
Icebox at the very least. Both sides has
technical
been
issue
Backlight,
gitu.
picking that up as well.
Di sini ada pause-nya nggak sih?
Something that's on my mind right now. Meteor, we saw
Paling
that
time out.
op,
Bukan
it's
time out.
gonna
Ya,
come
bukan
back,
time out sih.
or, you know, maybe
Langsung aja
Unofficial
technical
might
issue.
back.
Jadi nggak
And
time
on a
out.
map like Sunset where there's just so many
Iya kayak di pause gitu kan, di stop.
Either agent
Tapi
can
biasanya
be useful.
pas
Yes.
lagi belum
And
mulai
also, I
gamenya,
know
mesti
some
kayak
fans are
setiap
looking
round
at
nih
that
sebelum mulai
scoreboard
round
earlier,
harus
map 2 on
ngomong.
splits, and even though RQ1, they're
Dia anjir. Kalau technical isunya di tengah game gimana lu?
Ya kan dia ini satu map kan paling cuma 1,5 menit. Sampai 20
Berarti dia apa? Diulang gitu, di reset.
Enggak, kalau technical itu mah cuma benerin aja, kalau udah bener balik tanding lagi. Kecuali ketahuan nge-cheat. Kalau ketahuan nge-cheat ya selesai.
Iya maksud gua lu lagi di game nih, tiba-tiba headset lu rusak lah, padahal awal-awal dicek bisa.
Iya, ya mau nggak mau harus selesai dulu round itu. Habis itu ntar pas
Oh.
round selanjutnya baru di pause. Tapi nggak boleh ngomong sama pelatih kayaknya, kalau nggak salah.
Maksudnya nggak boleh ngomong sama pelatih?
Nggak, kalau timeout kan, timeout tim kan lu boleh ngomong sama pelatih kan, coachnya.
Oh kalau technical issue nggak?
Nah, ya.
I'm really wondering how things are going to be playing out going to Sunset. We have not seen it in Pacific yet, obviously, because it was only launched after Champions last year. But we saw a bit of off-season. But coming into this now, what's in store?
Yeah, and again, I think when you look at the way the maps were played, I actually think I might lean towards Genji looking a little bit better for the haul here for map 3. Just because I think even on Split, they're the team that showed us that they understand how to adapt to how their opponents are playing today on that
Lu
stage.
dong,
Whereas
kacamata
RRQ, like, their
tatoan.
set plays are good, their prep is good, some of their theory is good. Obviously, they were firing on all cylinders at the beginning of Split, but it felt much more like, hey, we gotta like get back to what we prepped, right? Rather than saying, hey, Genji is doing this today, so how do we adapt to that?
Nah, yang lolos ini ke VCT Master
in
di
that regard, you know, maybe if Genji is
ya?
able to do that again on Sunset, sure, but we all know momentum is a big thing. RQ's the one who just clinched out that win and dragged out this best of 3.
It was dragged out by Genji though, that's the thing. So I think momentum on either side, although RQ won the last few rounds on Split, Genji might be feeling a little bit hot coming from that as well, so...
Look at this party pooper.
I'm just gonna...
Anjir gua
Arthur, calm down.
Okay, I have to ask.
ngerandom swipe kanan.
Whoever wins this
Dapat match sama musisi, Nopin, mau nggak lu? Orang Kristen.
Ya kan dia mau yang malu anjir, namanya kasih ke gua.
Small ordeal. How do that might
Kocak,
make me
anjir.
myself. How do you think that's gonna play out? Does Genji
Orang
or
Medan lagi
RRQ,
tuh.
are they gonna stand a strong chance to beat Paper X?
Anjir.
And are they gonna? Who are we gonna see? You know, in the lower bracket, are these two teams gonna face again, or is it gonna be a Paper X, Genji, Paper X,
My
RRQ
predictions
game?
were that if RRQ wins, they are beating Paper X as well. However,
Okay,
if you're gonna have to show Sunset, if you're showing this full best of 3, Paper X
Sunset.
is a real
Sunset
winner
makanya
here.
gua udah pernah dah.
And Genji, Meteor will be playing
Mungkin ya.
that Cypher, so it's back
Ini
to the
yang-
single duelist. Meanwhile, RRQ, okay, it's gonna be the double controller, the Omen and the
Bukan ya?
Harbor. Not an Omen
Yang
and a
mana?
Viper, not anything else.
Ini
It's
dalam
Omen and a
akuarium.
Harbor. So a lot
Bukan.
more fluidity in terms of how they're able to take space
Ini
here.
Which is amazing,
kayak
but apart from
kota
that, just
modern banget
Estrella
gitu.
on that fade. You don't have flashes. You're gonna have to be really careful with how
Yang
you
ada ikan
execute.
paus
That's
bukan
what
sih?
I wanna see from
Bukan,
RRQ.
itu namanya
Alright, the sun has long since set,
Apa
but
ya,
we're gonna
gue lupa
go to the
lagi namanya.
sunset anyway with Achilles and Paper Thin.
Oh, abis ini ke ini apa namanya? Ke VCT Master Madrid di Madrid.
What is now our final series here of the evening. See who is going to be
Di
walking away
Madrid
with that
kalau
win,
lolos.
who's going to be falling down to the lower bracket.
Habis juara yang di ini Korea.
Enggak, jadi kan ini kan bagi 3 grup nih.
Paper X is the other team in the group.
Jadi satu grup itu satu perwakilan untuk ke Madrid.
Oh. Madrid itu apa dunianya? Turnamen dunianya.
Iya, tapi bukan yang akhirnya, bukan World Championnya banget.
Oh, mungkin World Champion.
Belum, itu biasanya ntar Agustus.
Iya, ini lu main Bumble pakai ini aja, Pin, yang berlangganan 3.000. Tapi ngerandom aja swipe-nya, lu swipe kanan terus, ntar lu sortir sendiri.
Masalahnya, gue sering swipe kanan, gak ada yang mau.
Terus aja spam sampai mentok aja. Iya, daripada lu berlangganan ini kan, yang sebulan. Ini gue baru nih 3.000. Sampai habis aja udah, seharian. Tinggal nunggu dah, ada match apa enggak.
Tiga lawan 2.
3 lawan 2.
Iya.
Wah, bukan 5 lawan 5.
Enggak, udah mati itu musuhnya.
Anjay, keren tuh.
2 members left standing here for the side of RRQ is, well, once again, first pistol round of the map, they managed to pick it up.
Yeah, it's a good hit, and Elmimore is, once again, picking up right where he left off on Split with some very clean shooting. Now upgrading to a Bulldog. A few others in there. Guardian for flips. 1 Sheriff in the hand of Texture. Back to Texture being the lone duelist, back on the raise. Wasn't able to find as much impact as he did with that Jet on Icebox. Meteor shifting into the Cypher role. Be spotted there by Elmimore.
Apain nembak-nembak?
Itu ada kamera, cuma dia nggak bisa lihat. Kameranya bisa hilang kalau habis dipasang. Baru muncul kalau ada yang make. Nah, karakter itu tuh yang pakai topi tuh, lu lihat karakternya pakai topi. Yang matanya cuma 1 itu, bukan yang cewek ya. Itu tuh bisa pakai punya kamera dia skillnya.
Don't blame RRQ for taking their time with this one. There's Texture drifting back. Himself behind the box.
Anjing. Ngeri banget nembaknya begitu.
That's gonna be half the smokes. Eliminated.
Hemat peluru anjing.
Soalnya kalah di awal ya, jadi dia echo mode echo. Jadi pada pakai pistol.
Shells getting sent. Elmimore able to find KANAN Prowler. Spotting one back sight. Texture.
Ooh, nice.
Finishing off Jemkin, who will fall to his hand.
30 seconds left.
Then get flushed out.
Lu dukung siapa anjir? Genji apa RRQ?
Ngeresponnya ada keren-keren aja.
Wah anjing gila.
Will be able to close out the round. RRQ move up 2-0, but it damn near cost them everything.
Begitu Pin sampai makan permen karet.
Itu permen karet supaya nggak ngerokok anjir.
Initial crosshair placement really good.
Oh,
nggak boleh ngerokok, nggak boleh nge-vape.
Just enough off guard. Some good util.
Jadi biasanya permen karet yang ada apa nikotinnya itu.
And a chance there for Munchkin at the end.
Doping parah, pakai doping.
Enggak doping dong.
We are potentially in for an interesting one. Doesn't seem like we're gonna have a repeat of Split potentially.
Anjir.
Oh, Texture. Hello. Texture is really having a good start now. Much better.
What the additional setup may have been. Maybe he was full flash and didn't realize that the paint shells were on top of him, but it's a high value kill to be found. So far, RRQ have been able to convert every first bonus round.
Elmimore is also very good with the Sheriff.
Oh yeah. That has been a known quality for quite some time. Prowler going
Anjir. Buset.
Along the wall is Texture.
Roto cuy, headshot semua ini.
To make it a poor can, you can see Lucky, his eyes going wide there for a moment. He said, damn. Unbelievable.
It's that
Anjing pro player Corsair sama semua ya.
I think you're right. That
Maksudnya gimana
flash just
konsep
kind
sama?
of. Oh, you might have got stuck.
Corsairnya itu.
Look at the timing. Timing on the back of that cascade by Texture. And then it's
Itu tergantung kenyamanan.
to 180 to mow 2 more down. Yeah, no
Itu
wonder
titik semua dia makanya.
There was a split second, I believe, at the end of Texture's player cam where he just was like.
Plus 4 itu.
Obviously, the audience can't see what face I made, but hey, you can always.
Tapi susah nih menurut gua pakai titik gitu. Nggak kelihatan gua malah titiknya. Kalau lagi cepet.
A bonus. Not as strong of a start here that we've been seeing from RRQ.
Lo dapat berapa FPS kalau ini?
In
main?
the driver's seat as they have the full buy coming.
FPS.
Iya,
also
game
available
game.
here for Xfaro.
Paling tinggi berapa ya? 160 kali.
Basically low
Lo limit aja ke 160, jadi biar nggak terlalu ekstrim naik turunnya.
Caranya?
Ada di setting, terus FPS limitnya.
Dia naik turun aja, kadang 140.
Itu bikin nggak stabil lu ngeliatnya. Gue limit di 144 soalnya monitor gue maksimal 144. Jadi gue lebih nggak guna juga.
Mantep banget itu.
Dar.
Ini si tekstur jago ini.
Jago anjir. Kalau orang baru dia. Ini.
Wah, anjir.
Finds one, Ellie Moore taken down. The plant now coming through. Looks like he thought maybe they'd fake their way back over towards the B.
Nggak nyampe bomnya. Balik ke dia. Wah, susah nih. Lu.
Straight low at 59 HP. Certainly is workable for him. Avoids the haunt. Pushes the wall. Slowly creeping up. They're playing together though. And he gets the gun barrel one. Texture.
Anjir si tekstur bangsa.
Back on the duelist, back at the top. Texture.
Gila, apotek tutup.
Munchkin.
Kok apotek tutup?
Just had to
nggak ada obat. Nggak ada obat.
I can't believe what I saw.
Iya kan apoteknya tutup, nggak ada obat.
And then able to navigate his way back through using
Anjir bisa gitu dah.
against RRQ.
MH di MH. Tuh dia bingung baru kepala, kok bisa gitu ya?
Feeling it today. That is just absolutely bananas, dude.
This goes here. Unreal performance from him so far, and we're just 4 rounds in. Let's see how he fares going into the 5th. Meteor again trying to things down, and he does.
Padahal baru sedetik lu muncul.
Gimana gitu? Refleks lu anjir. Gila.
Ini makanannya harus bergizi, Pin. Kalau mau kayak gitu, Pin.
I don't think that is a fight that you really want to take. Paranoia will get sent through though. The push on the back end isn't found.
Wih, random nembaknya anjing. Jankin. Aduh.
Biasanya nggak mau mumpuni.
Nice. Ya, goblok.
Very swiftly dealt with. Xfaro saying, well guys, I'm just gonna get us a little bit of extra.
Nggak ada yang pakai ini ya, yang kodok itu ya, Pin.
Yang kodok.
Iya, yang daminya bisa masang bom.
Oh, ini apa ya namanya? Set pro player emang beda-beda. Nggak beda, maksudnya kebanyakan sama, mirip-mirip.
This crunch they set up towards mid.
Oh, di sini ada buff-buffnya gitu nggak sih? Karakternya di buff, di nerf, di...
Oh, itu ada.
Oh, ada.
Update patch.
With Meteor and Munchkin there that they're able to bail out would might have
Itu
been
yang pakai burung itu tuh
problem
baru di nerf
Gen
tuh.
G is they're just gonna step in.
Iya, OP anjir itu yang burung. Udah bisa nge-heal.
Iya, jadi
blindnya bisa diarahin.
Blindnya itu tuh dulu itu lu misalnya udah kan dia 2 kali match kan. Lu bisa yang dikasih free satu lagi lu bisa beli. Itu kalau misalnya habis, lu bisa nunggu waktu berapa detik, ntar ada lagi burungnya. Sekarang enggak.
Yeah, and I think it's stuff like
iya, anjir tuh OP banget.
To Gen G, that's something that has to be addressed like now, and they can't be giving over those first bloods. You know, Meteor pushed around that corner just enough to get that first kill.
Iya, temponya dapat di musuh di game.
Dari 2-0 jadi 3-2 anjir.
Towards courtyard and they can't really get through.
Si Ewo.
Soalnya ini last match anjir. Last game.
Yeah, it's really hard
Kalau
because
dia
again,
ini
we have
lower back.
zero info on how any of these teams.
Tamdung, apa tuh Tamdung?
Want to run this map. So they're kind of feeling each other out. I was a little surprised I didn't see a
Apa ya
Gecko
bahasa Indonesia?
on one side or another,
Time
especially
out.
with the harbor in
Bahasa
there. I
Indonesia
thought
time out.
maybe you could
Bahasa
combo
Indonesia
that.
ada sejenak apa? Sejenak apa gitu?
Some of those plants down and that kind of thing.
Ada sejenak.
Enggak, sejenak gua bablas sejenak gitu. Kalau nggak salah ya.
Malaysia kali itu.
Bahasa Indonesia kan sejenak ada anjir.
Ya ada, cuma kayak beda arti deh. Anjir. Ini yang anjing nge-paralyze ya?
Bikin buta. Apa sih namanya? Bukan buta. Kayak pusing gitu deh.
Iya, paralyze kan, kayak beku gitu kan, dia ke stroke.
This is the showstopper going to be let loose. Munchkin still comes away with a kill. Elmore unable to find the kill early enough to prevent his teammate's death.
Yeah.
Finds one.
Golan 2 yuk.
Still coming through from that neural theft. We go into the 2v2. The reping. So he's not going to find anybody.
Ayo ke boba.
Great trades on
boba
both
tuh yang
sides.
atas itu tempat musuh
Gonna
datang.
readjust. Try to come back boba.
This is a huge
Boba.
round here for RRQ.
Ayo boba anjir. Kayak minuman.
Break their banks pretty considerably on a couple of the players yet again.
Ini asap yang ini ngeselin anjir.
Yeah.
Lama. Nice.
They realize this, but no, Lakia, he pulls off it anyway. The retap coming through, Pink's coming down.
Nice.
Will just push out of the smoke.
Dapat lagi temponya.
Hide up now, 3-3 the timeout, able to help get the win here for RRQ.
Ntar kalau 4-3 time out nih si game.
Felt like it might slip out of RRQ's fingers.
Itu mereka headsetnya dalamnya ada IM ya tak?
Ada apa?
Pakai IM.
But Munchkin
IM.
is just so tricky to deal with.
Internet
So
apa namanya?
cagey. He's so difficult to keep track of.
In-ear monitoring. Jadi headset tapi yang masuk ke dalam itu loh.
Very well.
Ya ada tape-nya itu loh.
We saw him on controllers
Ya ada
a lot
karetnya
last
kan, ada
year.
karetnya.
Moving over.
Oh.
Nah itu luarnya itu buat ini apa sih namanya? Supaya dia terisolasi gitu. Pecing 2.
RRQ trying to rush forward, but
well,
not enough. It is going to be a 3v3 as Flips manages to find Meteor. Still, they have their work cut out for them here. See, they're wary about potential wrap back over.
Aduh.
Right, as Locky finds his Pharaoh, Flips will fall. Elmore now the last man standing. Clears up the Trailblazer.
Ya, gagal
Flash
naik.
left available here for Locky. Goes for the jump peek. With that smoke down.
Ganteng banget responnya. Ya. Pasan dia kena blind dah.
Iya, dia kena itu, makanya nggak langsung nembak kan, nggak langsung nembak.
little timing push from Lakia.
Gambling tuh dia anjir.
Iya, kira-kira aja kena.
Pas, iya lempar nih. Cer, adu-adu.
Gotta hold the elbow. And this is just, I mean, lined up for texture.
Tembakannya keren nih.
Just disrespecting that reckoning. Lakia, great little pop flash. Finish the job. Knows he's got his opponent out in the open.
Gue punya kayaknya vandalnya.
Plays it to perfection. This goes here. Texture once again able.
Tapi ini nggak emosional ya pemainnya ya.
Things getting a little dicey on the economy.
Kalau denger suara game sih, parah banget.
Enggak dari ekspresinya kayak biasanya gitu.
Hit for Munchkin.
Iya.
This is interesting. Munchkin hasn't been
Soalnya belum ini.
Kemarin
kalau MOBA, iya enggak kalau MOBA mah buset udah teriak-teriak anjing kayak semangat banget gitu.
Kemarin waktu World Champion sih seru itu, teriak-teriak juga. Sampai apa sih kayak taunting pemusuh anjir. Katanya, kamu
boleh ya dia nge-taunting ke musuh.
Boleh. Itu karena World Champion sih biar seru. Jadi kayak emang dua orang ini yang jadi kayak musuh gitu, musuh rival gitu. Kayak nyangkut.
Spike now planted. Spare, however, low on HP. Needs to try to stay alive. Door shut. Estrella trying to bait this one. Oh, Texture. Able to get the catch. Swaps at the weapon. Estrella on the door, pushes through, but is not ready for Experiment to be right up against it.
Dua lagi.
Kills found.
Wah, timeoutnya udah habis.
One tag across. They're knocked down to 60. The spray in. He's gonna be
Nice.
Does finally fall, but it gives a fighting chance here for Lakia. TP. Gets the kill.
Hoki anjing.
Diambil lagi temponya.
Gen.G barely scraping by with the round win, but they're keeping themselves out in the lead.
I mean, every round.
Kalau tadi Omen nggak pindah tempat aman tuh.
I mean, what a jump out from Jemkin, able to get one.
Ini dia ngapain pakai pindah tempat ya?
Iya, ini pasti sini nih. Kan pindah tuh. Tuh, dari kiri ke kanan.
Iya, soalnya pindah tempat ada jedanya anjir.
Iya, buat megang senjata tuh ada waktunya.
No problem at all there to finish the job.
I mean, he believed it. He was like, okay, I fully trust that you are TPing away from me and not going for a bait.
Yep.
Good read. Calling the bluff. Seeing through a potential one.
I really want to see what Munchin's going to do with his pit. I feel like our Vipers have been making interesting decisions with their Vipers pits today. Let's put it that way.
Well, for now, he's just holding it. Maybe it's like a comfort blanket. Just hold on to that one. Lock in the meantime, though, able to find 2 quick kills. Xfero and LB Moore going to be taken down. It's just a bloodbath in mid.
Ganteng gitu dong. Tapi si tekstur masih ada nih.
Into a 2v2. Takes the forward position, just crouched down. Nightfall going across. I don't think it gets a connection onto one. Okay, so Heron does get caught by that.
Simpson masih sering main, Pin.
Dia sama teman-temannya paling.
Maybe.
Oh. Enggak, gue kira main sama lo Madu.
Waktu itu sering ngajakin gua, cuma gue kan susah ya, maksudnya temen gue udah ngajakin duluan.
Watching the angle. There you go. A nice little two.
Aduh.
Tries to swing out, tries to take the fight. Gen.G continue to persevere.
Terlalu semangat untuk ngepick anjir.
6-3 now. Putting themselves in a strong position thus far here on Sunset.
And it almost completely flipped on its head. Because, you know, this is a great push out from Lakia. Boom, double kill. And then they're all like, okay, we're all going to go down market and line right up for this crossfire. That RRQ is set up just waiting with open arms. And they lose 3, they get mowed down, and all of a sudden it's a much more difficult round. Gen.G there needs to get a little more info before they start making those clumped up pushes. Could have cost them that round, but tons of ults now for Gen.G. Did I mention that Munchkin is a Viper's pit?
Maybe once.
Well, now he doesn't.
Well, no, he does in depth. Jemkin finding the kill. RRQ, can they rally back to try and deliver a more even score line? It's a good start. This Meteor is very much changing the playbook. Super far forward lurk here in mid.
Itu ngincer ya? Ubur-uburnya ya?
Iya, ngincer.
Here in mid, getting ready to expire. Texture off still in hand, managing to find a kill. Flip's going to be taken down now. Meteor pushing forward, finds the elimination. Throws down that Nero theft. The reveal comes in. Jemkin able to get the punish. Meteor stashes ground to take out KANAN as well. Despite location and texture, taking down his counterpart Raze. Trailblazer more than identifying Estrella's position.
Saving kayak deh.
Spike is in hand.
Gua mau dia kan?
Steps
Oh iya.
maybe heard. Texture set up on the corner.
Aduh, untung gak kena anjing meleng banget tuh orang.
Is waiting for him to repeat, but Texture says you gotta come
Si
to me.
tekstur lagi yang nargetin.
Duh,
Ini yang dua-duanya jago lagi.
Iya.
Pretty much all the util to try to force him off the angle
Aduh,
has
jangan
been
muncul
burned.
dah.
Udah kabur.
Face
Anjing.
shot, not connecting. He jumps across the gap, manages to get himself over to the site. Can't have this plant come down, but how does he play this on the back end? The showstopper drawn out.
Ih, gak kena. Ih, kagak mati. Ih, ganteng.
He's trying to buy the time. Lakia, he's not believing in it.
Ya, anjing jago dia nungguin waktunya bangke.
Nearly managed to get the weapon back out.
Dihitungin tuh kayaknya udah 1, 2, 3 keluar.
Enggak, pas bunyi masang itu kan ada buat suaranya. Nah itu baru udah keluar dia. Jadi setiap lo masang itu tuh ada suaranya, musuh bisa denger juga.
Reading the situation well, knowing that angle
Ini ada ubur-ubur naik sepeda.
kind of playing with texture a little bit, able to at least get into a position where he makes it a contest every round so darn close.
They are, but
Di sini kalau ada juara dunia ada penghargaannya nggak, Pin?
Dapat piala. Oh masih Indonesia? Apa gimana masih?
Iya, juara dunianya.
Dapat. Jadi lo di map itu dikasih lihat nama lu, nama karakter lo.
Di map yang dimenangin apa semua map?
Map yang ada papannya. Papan apa sih namanya? Papan apa namanya? Baliho gitu loh.
Berarti nggak semua map gitu?
Nggak semua map.
Man advantage should do more than enough to set up RRQ for the round win.
Munchkin's gonna readjust. I'm gonna try to come up through Link instead.
Ini air yang ini bisa ditembak nggak? Nggak bisa ya?
Bisa nembus.
Oh ini bisa yang bulat doang yang nggak bisa ya?
Oh. Yang bulat air ya bulat airnya dia. Itu nggak bisa. Sama ini Astra waktu itu gue ulti.
Astra emang
ada yang ngebatasin gitu. Nah itu tuh lu nggak bisa dengar suara dari lawan sebelah, batas itu, luar batas itu. Lu lari juga nggak kedengeran. Lu nembak nggak tembus. Ultinya Astra namanya karakternya.
Jemkin, yeah, that's nice. I mean, that's a gift.
Pas TP lagi tuh ya.
Pressure from the other side, and Jemkin able to pinch in and squeeze out a couple kills.
Kayak Kempes nih, si Jemkin.
Huge momentum swing now for RRQ, but now their ults are going to be a little bit out of cycle. Yes, you owed.
Yeah, I mean, Texture, he's just going glass cannon.
Now why not?
Buying a rifle for his teammate, being handed over the operator.
He's good enough
with it so far.
But I mean,
here's the ultimate question.
Yeah.
Do we see the pit? Does he use it in this half? Or does it just go completely unutilized?
It seems to be in Genji's playbook that the Viper's pit actually doesn't exist.
Yeah, it's about the implication.
Dar.
It's the implication of danger.
Dar.
Anjir. Aduh.
Able to find the quick headshot there to shut down, making sure they can't find any more value, but Lakia still managing to take out 2.
Lakia sih udah mati, cuman Jemkinnya mati.
Ih, anjir.
Ya gue ada meteor.
Now is all Onyx Pharaoh. Spike planted, just a cove to work with. The Tide still 25 seconds away. Looks like he wants to go on a walkabout, but he's getting ready to rotate potentially over into Texture's line of sight, but Texture pulls off the angle now.
I mean, I feel like, though, with the judge in hand, that Munchkin was actually considering the pit this round. Potentially, although that might have been just a cost-cutting measure to get Texture an operator. Why? Why no pit? Why no pit to cover this? Please.
There it is.
Okay, thank you, God. Oh.
Pit sent, Texture.
Anjing.
That'll be the thing that
Responnya bisa begitu.
8-4, Gen G out in front as we get ready to swap
sides. Apaan halftime?
Iya kan udah ini totalnya 12 round. Nah ganti posisi di attack.
Whatever, they're winning. And Texture is when he is kind of freed up to do his thing.
Nah ini baru yang nyentuh 13 menang ya?
Iya, yang 13 duluan menang.
Again, setting the pace, setting the tone for
Jadi misalnya lo jago attacking, enakan lo defense dulu, baru lo attacking.
When I predicted this team today, it was almost purely on the back of fire.
Kalau di Mobile Legends ada ini nggak? Scream gitu. Ada lah.
Semuanya ada aja. Semua e-sport ada itu. Yang buat latihan kan? Ada itu.
Sama tim lain.
Iya, yang buat latihan. Jadi kayak ngetes strategi, hero baru lah. Soalnya kalau cuma main ranked, nggak ngembang aja. Main ranked kebantai-bantai semuanya.
Very close run back from Gen G. The attempt there on split managed to go from 10-2 to, an 11-13 loss. RRQ
Korea tuh.
not
Itu.
quite as desperate of a situation.
Ngomong apa? Coba.
Kalau mau ngeliatin ceweknya tuh. Pura-pura aja deh.
No, he was saying he's gonna take the first train.
Oh, I thought I saw Ramyan.
Oh, did
there.
you? I think it's a Tomyon.
Oh, you know, I glanced at it, and my brain is also at about 20% capacity currently. So,
and you're already usually running pretty low.
That's true. It's 20% of my usual capacity.
Yeah.
So that's, we're into the low fractions here.
Yeah. All right. Let's see what Gen G can do on this attacker side. Anemic, were they on split?
They've been good about getting the second half pistols.
Oh, Jemkin.
He's in such a far forward position.
I think
kind of staring into this
defense
corner, so
lebih
he
enak
might
sih
have a
ini.
decent idea that they're
Menurut
taking
gue ya.
these spots on the map.
Exactly what I was just thinking.
Ya kan nama.
They at least
Sunset.
have an awareness
Sunset.
of it. I think that might have spotted him. Yep.
Oh masih sama. Oh kira
Beda. Oh masih sama ya kan cuma tadi cuma tukar posisi doang.
Vanishing in the blink of an eye. Straya the only one left.
Kemana nih tembakan?
It's going to be the full send over now towards that B site. It's going to be 3 and 3 in pistols at the end of the day here. But Gen G are going to be the ones moving up to 9 rounds.
It's at the worst possible moment. Yes, Estrella gets one. Meteor answers right back.
Aduh, makin jauh.
The good, like what I liked about this round, I had to give it.
Biasanya di 11 nih, kutukan 11 nih.
Gen G takes it slow.
Kalau di Valorant tadi sebelum pindah apa side gitu 9-3 skornya biasanya itu ya 9 sih kena kutukan.
But Lucky is accounting for it instantly. So everybody doing their job, everybody being on point for Gen G. Communication good, Meteor feeling good.
Everybody vibing here. Let's see, the kill picked up, but it's just going to
Kok burungnya cepet tadi?
Estrella's hands. Texture rushing forward, grabs this orb, but Xfaro doesn't want to give his position away at all. Decides not to go for any kind of spray.
Si Kempes jadi beli samurai nggak tuh?
Oh boy.
Beli apa?
Samurai.
Samurai buat apa nih?
Ada kan yang pisau kayak samurai gitu.
Oh, enggak lah, gue yang beli.
Making their way now through B main, paint shot to try to slow them up. Estrella does manage to find the headshot. Meteor going to be taken down. Spot what weapon he had, but 4v4, but wildly outgunned.
They're just going to go for post plants. They've got a lot of utility available here.
Yeah, double snake bite here in their back pocket. Munchkin, the only one who's really tagged up at all, down to 79.
Bisa getar gitu sih dia.
Classics.
Hah? Getar?
Still relatively healthy.
Iya itu tadi dia megang pistolnya getar. Kayak kanan kiri.
Oh kanan kiri emang.
Tapi lebih cepat. Iya, dikit-dikit doang gitu.
Finding some extra value, and honestly, you know, the scoreline is not going
well.
Yeah,
meledak dong.
As far as this is concerned, Estrella.
Gimana lagi?
He's got no time.
Dia mendingan mati sama ini.
Chase in for the kill, but widely, I mean, the damage dealt here is fantastic.
Soalnya kalau mati sama ini, lo nggak bertambah death-nya. Tapi lo
apa sama bom?
Sama bomnya nggak dihitung death. Tapi lo apa namanya?
Tapi kalau nggak mati,
kalau nggak mati, ya nggak mati lah. Gimana lo? Masa nggak mati dihitung death?
Just replicated that.
This goes here.
3 lagi anjir.
All squared up in terms of guns and shields, but the BENQ.
Ini dia di tengah game nggak ada pergantian pemain gitu ya?
Bisa kok. Kalau dia punya.
Oh bisa.
Saya dia punya nggak?
Enggak kalau di apa ya? Di MOBA tuh orangnya nggak bisa ganti-ganti anjir. Kecuali emang sakit ya, gantinya cuma di match selanjutnya doang lawan tim lain.
Oh. Tapi biasanya
jadi di tim sama nggak bisa.
Kayak gini-gini suka ada off seasonnya. Itu biasanya mereka mulai nyoba ganti-ganti ngetes. Tapi kalau misalnya seasonan sih biasanya jarang sih. Biasanya mereka punya tim inti langsung. Kecuali misalnya nih pertandingan luar negeri, lu nggak dapat visa, nah itu baru biasanya cadangannya yang main.
Berarti ini ada lock rooster juga kan ya?
Apa tuh?
Iya jadi misalnya lu udah ngebentuk tim nih, ada maksimal pendaftaran timnya yang harus didaftarin.
Iya, biasanya sih mereka daftarnya 6 pemain doang.
Iya, jadi kalau lu nggak ngedaftarin ya udah nggak bisa. Terus kalau itu udah lu daftarin, lu udah nggak bisa ganti-ganti pemain di luar yang didaftarin kan?
Iya, betul. Nggak bisa diubah jadi 7, 8 nggak bisa.
Iya, itu lock rooster tuh. Soalnya pernah di mana ya? Ada case itu di Dota kayaknya kalau nggak salah. Jadi udah hamin berapa mau turnamen, dihianatin anjir.
Oh, dicabut gitu.
Iya, pindah ke tim lain.
Anjir. Terus, oh, gara-gara itu dibikin aturan itu.
Iya, ada lock rooster. Anjing, asapnya bisa di atas gitu.
Disangkutin sama dia.
Bak, apa enggak sih itu? Anjir. Bisa gitu.
Kelihatan dia tadi.
Ih, mantep.
Get the defuse to half. Shots coming down the wall. Will fall. Munchkin finding the kill. And now it is all on Jemkin to try to get this done, but he's just running out of
Nice.
time.
Ya, kagak sempet.
And that's going to be him taken down.
Buying time-nya bagus nih dia.
Continue upward and onward.
Ntar dibantai sama
Trying to bring this night to a close.
Tanggal hari Senin.
Fantastic calling.
Siapa si Pepper?
Pepper X ya.
Assumption is it's still Lakia.
Oh, dia ini menang ketemu Pepper X.
Iya, soal Pepper X jadi selama tahun ini agak berubah dari tahun lalu. Jadi Pepper X itu karena dia runner up World Champion tahun lalu, jadi dia dapat kayak duluan gitu loh di atas gitu. Jadi bertandingnya lebih dikit, dapat tiket kayak masuk semifinal gitu. Itu tuh susah tuh kalau tangannya keluar duluan. Itu udah tahu pasti.
Man advantage already here in the hands of Gen G. This round win takes them up to match point. Swing out, Keychron with a great headshot.
Flip jeder.
Namanya Bani deh.
Very nice value to be found. Paint shells try to clear them out, pushes them out.
Nice.
Estrella able to find one. Paint shells
Jar.
takes down the other. Showstopper investment.
Oh, gitu dong, Jemkin.
When the team needed him the most. He'll be the one to dive in on top of the snake bite and help get the round victory. So it's not over yet. We're not going to be seeing Gen G getting that match point locked in. RQ staying afloat, but barely.
Yeah, and maybe now you can get that economy under control for RRQ. It's been bottom of the barrel, just scraping by with some of these rounds, and now you have to invest a lot here. The showstopper as well has to be used to make sure that it gets done, but that's fine, because at this point it's going to take everything in the kitchen sink to claw your way back into this.
Yep. And see, finally, you know, a dent dealt here to Gen G's economy. 2 rifles, 2 sheriffs. Just quickly on the classic, keeping that Vandal hidden for the time being, but given the cash, you can expect that there's going to be at least a hero rifle in this. There's the swing out. Jemkin, good to shut it down. Looking for a little bit more as they go backpedaling. And Estrella, pushing fun to the headshot. Runs out of bullets, has to pull away. Lock in with a nice answering headshot. We'll take out Jemkin. Make sure they don't get away scot-free. Estrella just backing away over onto the site. Smoke coming down, cutting off that alley access. Zlakia says, well, I might as well take this orb, because if I give it to Munchkin, he won't use the pit. So what's the use?
Yep, that's precisely, I believe, the mentality. I mean, what an interesting situation that Gen G found themselves in. They rattled off, what, 4 in a row here to start? And they're already back on an eco. So, I mean, that's how close it has been, even though the scoreline doesn't indicate it.
Crossfire setup there. Munchkin will be able to find one more for his troubles. And I mean, again, you know, cash on both sides, not very strong. So any damage that either side finds is still going to be overall quite good. But RRQ, they managed to string 2 rounds together.
I mean, it's been crazy, crazy close. the whole day. And now maybe RRQ is going to push us into another deep second half. Unexpected on split and away, and Gen G just answered the call, almost taking us to overtime. It's going to be RRQ's turn to rattle off a bunch of rounds in a row. Texture so deep.
Oh, yeah, I mean, pretty sure his feet were spotted. Flipshider just hanging out on top of market. Manages to avoid the Trailblazer. No stun to be found. Paranoia sent in, swings the corner, finds Texture, looks for a little bit more, and he manages to get it with one bullet left in the clip.
Jadi habis tadi langsung jago.
Forward revealed, takes so much damage, and swiftly finished off by Elmi Moore. Now the last one standing is RRQ. Now, you just posed the question. I think they replied.
Yes,
they are looking to run this back. They are looking to make this an elongated map.
No doubt. And they are right back in it. All
No, dia nggak megang bom lagi.
Iya tadi kalau dia ulti nih kan dia TP gitu kan, transportation gitu. Dia bisa ngambil itunya, apa spike-nya, bomnya. Terus dia cancel, balik lagi deh.
Every reaction, every decision seemed to be nearly flawless. Here it's going to come down to KIRI. Really probably would like to save this gun.
I think he's going to have to.
Ideal situation.
And just hold on to it, pass it to, Texture.
Yeah.
As a hero rifle into the next round.
Saving dia.
I'd like to see a timeout here.
Keuangannya bubar timnya.
I'm curious as to when they're going to decide to do that. Maybe
Dia
this is the
saving
moment
ini.
as they get ready to go into, a
Si Karon.
thrifty attempt in the next round.
Soalnya
I think now is the
apa?
time.
Iyalah, orang masih unggul jauh, mending
Call might be,
saving lah.
armor purchase, something like that, bulldogs in the mix, etc.
Enggak, ekonomi temennya juga nggak bisa ini. Ini open dia kalah.
I mean,
Cuma bisa beli pistol paling.
RQ need to keep up this momentum.
And RRQ has kind of found a lot of the success that I think we saw on Split, where they're absorbing a lot of the early utility, putting themselves
right before the smoke bloomed.
I mean, that second shot was nuts, and then doesn't have many bullets left and puts him to good use. So, but I mean, they're doing a good job of. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Solo. He heard my cries.
Doesn't want this to get any closer than it already has.
Pasti di 11 nih, kutukan anjing.
Things continue to get closer. One team tries to stretch away from the other.
Bantai.
We could see them, the rest of those utilized here very quickly.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's so important.
Yeah. I mean, Gen G win the next round. RRQ.
Yeah.
No choice but to use that timeout.
And it's, we've talked about it a couple times today, but just how incredibly fast and furious this kickoff is, how little room for error there is to get yourself to Masters Madrid, which is so important for getting those championship points.
Yeah.
To try to get yourself to Champions Korea, which is nice to say that now.
That's true. We can say that out loud.
We can say that out loud.
Oh my God. It feels amazing.
It's no longer the quiet part. It is now the out loud part.
Well, Gen G, they're putting their proficiency for pulling off thrifty wins on display throughout the first two maps.
And you nailed it. They just gave Texture the rifle. Like, here you go.
Yep. Also has that showstopper. Looks like he's just baiting, trying to see if anyone's going to swing off that Prowler, but took RRQ knowing better. Quick bounce over here in towards that alley. Showstopper at the ready. Could find an immense amount of value.
Ini istilah namanya elbow.
To clear an extra angle.
Namanya istilah. Jadi lu ngasih tahu nih elbow berarti ya di situ dia. Musuhnya di situ.
Nama tempat, nama gangnya.
Nama gangnya.
RRQ's mind here a
Sebutannya
little bit
elbow.
because a lot of times it's either been kind of like fast hits or they get contact, but they're pulling up and they're waiting.
Gitu,
Now,
pasti
trying to get back into the mix is Estrella.
Showing in the corner for now. I think they've quite spotted him out yet, but maybe with that spray fire coming through, maybe they had. Mont still at the ready. Paranoia has been used. Lakia, the first one to push up. And that's going to be the spike noted. Texture in the meantime, set up on top of the bomb. Swings out, but Xpero is a little bit faster.
Anjir, di buff RRQ.
Seems like they're going to be good for this one. Now set for a flawless RRQ. Just need to find this last player. KIRI has his work cut out for him to try to find any sort of value right now.
Dia flawless nih.
Paranoid gonna go wide. He gets the tip, cannot get the kill. The counter swing out. Xfero will find the last elimination. As RRQ now 4 rounds consecutively here for themselves. They continue the run back.
Yeah, Jemkin just spamming that box, just keeping Estrella's position hidden long enough that eventually it pays dividends. See all those bullets in that box. That's all Jemkin there, just baiting for Estrella, just diverting all the attention of Gen G up to his direction. Simple plays like that can benefit you mightily. Your opponents don't recognize it. Okay, Gen G's turn for a lot of ultimates in a buy, and this one, you know, you really want to get this one for Gen G. You can set yourself up to that 12 round, get a little bit of extra economy, a little bit of extra cushion.
Diskon.
This
11.
goes really sideways.
Old texture. Jumping forward with that showstopper.
Anjir.
Just paranoid actually. Didn't know where he was running. Ends up getting taken down. Boombot goes off inside of the smoke. It's a little bit of damage as the reveal comes through. Texture pulling away, however. Not looking to get spammed out. As the pit will be invested.
Oh, hell yeah.
Munchkin decides to use it, but now the Reckoning coming through, just trying to force them back. White's still at the ready. One since used. Paint shells now flying from either side. Pope is thrown down. Jemkin finding one, pushes up, takes out Karen, but now White in to delay.
Yeah.
Pope gets broken down.
Yeah.
Spot for Meteor. A 3K pickup as he finds Xfero. Estrella's just sat within the pit, 1 HP, and no hope in hell.
Yeah.
Creeping forward, he will be found, and Gen G, they will break the win streak. As well as the
Itu
Spears as they
ultinya
move
itu tuh
themselves up to
ngurangin
match
semuanya
point.
sampai sisa 1 buat musuh. Jadi itu
Apaan darah?
Iya, bendara sama apa namanya? Shield tuh hilang, jadi 0, shield 0, tapi darah sisa 1. Jadi sisanya di situ.
But there's enough room. Munchkin can stay obscured. Once that initial utility,
Buat
once
musuh
that
tuh jadi
initial
buat
barrage
pertahanan tuh bagus banget
of
ini.
mollies is dodged,
Tapi udah time out ya.
then that pit is so
Gak tadi
difficult
si
to
ini
displace.
Genji.
So many crossfires, everybody on RRQ is sitting.
Enggak pas di 5-3 kan bukannya udah.
Kan satu side
exactly what I've been really
satu.
wanting to see
Oh.
from Gen G since I started noticing the pits were.
Paling dia apa? Suruh minum. minum.
The last time out here for RRQ, Gen G.
Udah mending kita hindarin paper pack saja tuh.
Down to an 11 and 12
Iya,
score
susah,
line.
tekstur susah.
They can once again pump the brakes and try to come up with a solid game plan.
Mending biar si game aja yang lawan udah. Kasih.
And they'll probably get another ult or two.
Si game ke bawah ketemu lagi.
Most likely.
Iya, kalau dia kalah ini
There's a
apa
pretty good
ketemu
chance
lagi
of
tuh
that.
mereka berdua.
So that's exactly why that round was so huge for Gen G. So much was riding on that, both in terms of money economy and ult economy.
And they had to invest absolutely everything into it. With the 3K picked up on the back end, Meteor decently close, halfway now to that neural theft, which is the only ult that we have available right now for the side of RRQ. 2 away from the showstopper if Jem can get the ball rolling here in the round. So now it's just going to be clear out on the Haunt. And big wraparound over in towards mid here from Estrella, leaving Elmimore very much on an island.
Now they're trying to just gain all this mid control off the back of the high tide, and they're being given it as it's just a trap wire to watch Gen G's back. This is a full-on A commit.
Oh, and Elmimore down to 10 HP. Munchkin at the same time, finding Estrella, takes him down. The paint shells come through, and Gen G might just be ready to finish this one out. The trap wire around the back. Going to give the reveal. Now they know. Munchkin turning his sights over there for a brief little moment.
Ayo, fuck you there.
Towards the site itself. Allows for Texture to move up.
Hey, Jemkin, bantai.
Center able to find one. Meteor gone. The wall raised. Texture. Maybe look at the push off the back of this one.
Wow.
Texture coming up
Ayo,
with 2.
there.
And it's all on Flipshot.
Di belakang semua itu,
No damn idea. Jumps forward, gets into the smoke. Tap.
Nice.
Spike pushes out.
13-8.
He's seen enough. He's had enough.
Enggak kalau gue
13 to 8 here on Sunset. Gen G once again shut
Ini pertandingan terakhir ya hari ini ya?
It's unbelievable. I mean, yet another absolute nail biter between
Iya,
these two
harus
teams.
gara-gara ini.
This rivalry
Apa namanya?
delivers
Startnya telat
once
itu.
again, but If you're an RRQ fan, it is another heartbreaker.
Mulainya harusnya jam 1.
So close, so many times here today, so many rounds
Tapi ini apa namanya?
on the precipice of going their way. They were often one
Mundur
player
mereka.
from taking
Gara-gara
Gen G
technical
out of the
issue.
round that
Jadi
could
jam
have maybe
3, jam 4 mulai. Jam 4 mulai, harusnya technical issue lagi.
Texture there in that last round with a great flash from Locky to set him up for the push off and a beautiful transfer as well. He was just
Main lah.
so many highlight reel plays today.
Aduh.
I mean,
Bisa nih.
Texture
Tunggu dibantai